Hey guys, welcome to the Adult Babies Podcast, episode 65. I am B.
I'm Chick.
And I'm Chris.
And we got a special guest. Okay, what? Alright.
I'm laughing because, no. We do have a special guest today, but I purposely didn't say "and I'm Chick."
Oh, okay.
For Matt.
You did it.
I said "I'm Chick," and then you just say the "and," and now we're grammatically correct.
All right,
for
good.
Mr. Matt.
Matt, I hope you appreciate all the work we put into that intro.
But we do have a very special guest.
Yeah, our last guest scolded us right away. Our first 5 minutes are wrong, so we want to get it right.
Our last guest came with a list of things we could do to make the show better.
Yeah, it was like 2 pages.
Oh, we love you, Matt. But today is a new day, and we have a special guest. Guys,
He's another one of Farmingdale's finest,
another one.
Mr. Robert McCaffrey.
How you doing? Hey, Chick, you can call me Rob if you want.
Robert.
There you go.
I think
Robert. It's my mother calls me Robert. Robert.
I
L.
like to give the full name.
I appreciate it.
I never get called Thomas.
Thomas.
No,
Ever.
you're not a Thomas.
I'm not
You're
a Thomas, right?
But
You have to wear sleeves to be called Thomas.
yeah.
We are excited to have you.
Yeah.
I can't believe I'm here. It's so strange. It's like I listen to you guys
Mhm.
and like whatever I'm doing at the gym or if I'm like riding my bike and it's just like being in the room and hanging out with a bunch of people.
Yeah.
And when you guys say stuff like no, I'll like speak, I'll like
Yeah.
laugh out loud when I'm at the gym
That's
or I'm
what-
listening to you guys when I'm working out or something like that.
That's excellent.
And so it's just like actually now being here. It's
different.
surreal.
It is. It's so
It's-
surreal.
it must be
What's it like
surreal
to
being-
meet us?
Yeah, do you feel
Now here's the thing. Like I've
want
never
us to
met
sign
you.
up?
Exactly.
But,
We know each other, but
there's not history,
There's-
but there's
there
like
is
you know,
history.
family. There's
There's
family
like-
BS.
So
Yeah,
there's
it's
history with
What-
Chick
the
and
Chicks
the McCaffreys.
and the McCaffreys.
Yes, the Chickalos and the McCaffreys in some
It's like
way, shape,
Hatfield
or
versus
form.
McCoy.
I said that. I actually said
Hatfield
that. I
versus
said it's
McCoy.
Hatfield versus
Yeah, that
McCoy.
show and that whole premise is based on us.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can we get into a little bit
We'll
of
get
that?
into it a
Oh,
little
yeah,
bit.
we definitely get
We'll
into
definitely
it.
get into it.
Definitely get into
It's
it.
not as bad as you would think,
No.
but
It's
it's
not.
funny when you look back at it.
But like
You guys
know,
didn't end up dead on some trail, like
No,
right?
no, nobody died.
No, there was no,
no-
Chickalo killed by a McCaffrey.
Okay.
You know,
There's no
in the back
murders.
over here on the Beth Page.
Well, not
State
yet.
Park
Yeah,
lights,
you know,
yeah.
thought
that's where all the bodies
That's where the
would go
bodies are.
First of all, we're still early into the podcast. We'll see what happens.
Yeah,
at
well,
the
Yeah,
end.
well, we keep the McCaffreys, keep them on the Massapequa side, and then you keep them on the Beth Page side. That's where we.
Yeah,
that's where we
there's a nice line in the sand.
exactly.
All right.
And we try not to cross it.
No, but until now, I think this is.
I think this is
the
crossing
the
territory.
olive
This
branch.
is bigger than Trump and Kim Jong Un right now.
It is. It is.
But who's who? That's the question.
Oh, it's an interesting story.
uh,
But we could start by, there was, I don't even know how to preface it.
well, you know, it's funny. I want to wait for my brother to get into the football stuff.
Okay, yeah.
I want to wait for if you ever have my brother, I want to
Yeah,
get
Does that mean we're getting
But-
part 2?
There is a
Most
part two
definitely
because
a
it's
part
not
two.
my story to tell. But I remember being on the outskirts as a kid, going like, "What the hell's going on?" Like I never played sport. I don't sport. You know,
I don't sport. I like
don't-
that term.
I don't sport at all. I appreciate it, and I can get to a certain point in a conversation when it comes to sports. You know, people are like, see that Mets game? Yeah.
Yeah,
That was
yeah.
Did they lose? They lost.
You're
Right?
like a good coffee talk
Yeah,
guy,
yeah,
and then
yeah.
it's like
You can figure out
I
your
can
way.
figure it out. Someone was
along
talking to me
small
about.
talk
I was
chat.
having a conversation about MMA yesterday, and like I can get into the conversation of how that guy got like beat with one knee to the face yesterday.
Oh yes.
yeah.
And like because I understand the whole zeitgeist around
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
But other than that, like, you know, whew.
Yeah. I didn't know either one of those fighters, but that was it. Did anybody
Oh,
see that?
dude,
we
that
was
was
talking
amazing.
about?
Yeah.
It was like
That
what,
was
5 seconds?
5
Into
seconds.
The quickest
That
knockout
was
in
supposed
UFC
to be
history.
a really good fight.
Yeah, he
and
ran right in and kneed the guy right into the face,
Mm.
and
Is
it
that what
was
happened?
just
Oh,
done.
God.
It was brutal.
Like the guy went for like a takedown, and as he put his head down, this guy was flying up with a
Just like
knee.
flying knee.
And just knocked the guy out cold. Took about 3 shots to the face that were unwarranted, and the fight was over.
And the
The
funny
guy
thing
was-
about it was the one thing I did see on Facebook or something
Yeah.
is they like took that slow motion and they stopped it, and it
Oh.
looked like the Matrix because they did
Yeah.
that thing where they
the 360
Yeah.
camera.
Oh yeah, I know what you're
and I was
talking
just
about.
like, I was
Oh, that's
oh.
Dude, it was sick.
The
I
guy
didn't
was
see it.
unconscious for 5 minutes. After.
Was he?
Yeah.
So he's dead for 5 minutes, basically.
Yeah,
I,
that's
like,
a long
I
time.
can't, I don't, there's nothing, I don't get anything from watching you guys
You
beat
know
the shit
what?
out of
Oh,
each
you know
other,
what? I
but I
agree with you.
appreciate.
I have a hard time with that stuff too. It just never hit me
I
that
used
well.
to
but
love it
I love
so much more than I do now. Now I'm more of a boxing guy because I'd rather more technical chess match, so to
Yeah.
speak, where these guys aren't really like pulverizing each other. It's just unnecessary
Yeah.
to an extent. Not to sound like a pussy, but it is what it is. I don't.
It's
you know,
okay, you know.
Yeah.
We found that you have a very
Soft side.
you have a soft side.
I do.
You have
Yeah.
a soft side, and you shouldn't be ashamed to show that, Tom. I'm telling you right now,
Okay.
because you know.
It's a thick shell,
It
but
is,
it's
but
nice
inside this
gooey.
little
It's all-
Tommy,
yeah,
little
yeah.
Tommy going, hey, come on out.
cannoli cream inside that. Well, you're also somebody else that was, I guess, what you had that one episode that he was talking. He got very real, and you
About
you,
my depression.
Yeah, the depression episode. You enjoyed that episode, right?
I really thought that was great. I
Oh,
think that
we got
really,
a lot of people reaching out from that episode.
Well, you know, we're all from Farmingdale. We're from
Yes.
Long Island. Everybody's tough, and you know, like, you know, like I get in a fight over darts and stuff like that. Whatever, you know, and there's a certain what's the word for it? There's a certain
Tough guy
energy,
yeah.
attitude
Yeah.
out here in Long Island, which I never.
Yeah, I'm
was.
not tough at all.
But
You know
like-
what it is? I'm a big mouth. I never really fought, though. I'm more of a verbal
Same
fighter.
here, yeah.
Like that, I've never got into many physical. I got into maybe one or two,
Mhm.
and they were more pushing than
yeah.
fighting.
Well, I feel like most fights are
Yeah, that's
unless
probably
you're a
true.
real
Yeah,
fighter,
most
you know.
fights are over pretty quick, I think.
Yeah. Unless you're like
Especially when it's like a bar fight.
yeah.
Yeah, it's never like that.
But no.
What were we saying? So yes, I
Yeah,
really
about
like
the
that.
depression.
Really like that. And it's a real thing. I was actually having a conversation today
is.
about it with somebody. I was at you know, I never thought I'd come back. I when I came back to Long Island. I mean, if you want to like, I don't know, you want to. We've gone so many subjects right now.
Yeah.
But which ones you want? What do you want to go with? What do you want to go with? You want to talk?
I mean,
about?
that's there's so many options.
Yeah.
He was a Farmingdale guy and moved to the city to follow.
Well, I
and
went to
pursue-
I went to theater school.
You went to
Oh,
theater.
theater school.
Yeah, so I was.
Yeah, give us a little bit of
Yeah,
your
give us a
What do
background.
you want to know? I mean,
What's
I
up,
graduated. I
introduce me?
graduated.
Let
I
us
was from
know.
the class of 1996 from
Oh, woo.
ye old Dalers.
Whew.
Now the high school, Farmingdale High School,
Farmingdale High
baby.
School. I was the Playcrafters president. And you know the
They
theater
actually
group.
had like a theater. I never even knew they had.
Yeah, they
a
had,
theater.
course
we had a
they
whole.
did.
How
They
did you
had
guys
theater
put on a lot of
days.
shows,
I
or did
didn't
you?
know.
We did two.
A year?
They did a show like a musical, you know, and a straight play, like just talking. And it was usually because the teacher. Did you guys have Ulrich?
I know.
I know the name. I never had.
So he used to put on a musical
Okay.
in the I believe it was a musical in the fall, and in the spring we do a play.
Okay.
It was always a Neil Simon play. It was always something that was, you know.
What was the first one you did?
Oh my God! The first show I did at Farmingdale High School was Once on This Island, which is basically an all
Never
black
heard of it.
show.
Really?
They just did it on Broadway again. They redid it. It was about like it's like an island fairy tale. It takes
Okay.
place in the island, but it's like, but everybody in it is of color.
Can I ask you a
Yeah.
question? Did
Yeah.
they make you guys do blackface?
No, they didn't.
Yeah,
No, they
Because
didn't.
that would be
No,
so
because
taboo
because
now.
it was
I think that would've been
I think it
taboo
was-
in
no, it was a bunch of
time.
it was a
I'm
bunch
not
of
saying-
those. It was a bunch of white girls, like, you know, singing
Yeah.
like they were Whitney Houston at the time. But
Okay.
I mean, I was in that show first, and but we had like two black girls in the show, so it was kind of
Farmingdale was
like,
fairly diverse. As segregated as Long Island is, like town, Farmingdale was fairly diverse,
Well, absolutely.
considering.
But
you
it
know?
was a lot of. I mean, that was the first show we did. But I mean, we did that. We did the Man of La Mancha.
Okay.
We did Anything Goes. I was
You ever
like
do
the top-
Bye Bye Birdie?
Never did Bye Bye Birdie.
Oh.
I hate that show.
Everybody talks about Bye Bye Birdie. I've never. Well, I know Conrad Birdie. I
Yeah.
sort of know but I've never
More than I
seen
know.
it.
It's just, you know, the premise of the show, right?
Yes.
It's like it's a Conrad Birdie's like Elvis, and he comes
Right.
to town. I mean, it's a classic, but I don't know. It's not one of the ones that I ever
It
you know
never
really
connected with you.
never
For
connected.
some reason, that when I hear people talk about high school theater, Bye Bye Birdie is always something that
Everybody
that,
does it.
that people do. And,
Yeah.
and
because it's
is it easy?
it's easy because it's
gets a
it's
good
a book
laugh?
musical. It's you know the songs from
Yeah.
it. You know what's from it, like Hernando's Hideaway, Ole, ba-dum, ba-dum,
I'm lost
ba-dum.
in
Yeah,
these.
if
I
it's
don't
not
know
Wu
these.
Tang, check
It's
us
not
out.
Wu-Tang? Fair enough. Fair enough. There you go. Everybody does that show, but it's just, you know, it's an easy show, and kids can. It's not like a crazy subject matter.
Right.
Or anything
It's
like
an
that. It's
easy one.
easy,
Yeah.
you know,
Okay.
and it's feel good.
It's fair, it's lighthearted.
Exactly.
Right.
And at the time, you know, I mean, your parents. That was the show your parents. You
Yeah.
know, they
Yeah,
saw
yeah.
Anne Margaret in that, and you know, went crazy. So
But another thing I wanted to ask you, and it's not really that far off topic, but in high school,
yes,
do you remember the talent shows?
yeah, man.
Did you do yours?
No, because you know why?
Do you know how good your group was? That year was?
They were, but I wasn't.
I don't remember.
We didn't do it for our
All
age.
right.
But the only reason why I asked is because I remember he's my brother's age, and they had a talent show that year,
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
and
So
it was excellent. And I had a feeling you were in it.
no, I wasn't because
Okay.
because I took it seriously, and it's not only that. I also wasn't friends with a lot of people.
Okay, fair enough.
I have a love-hate relationship with Farmingdale. I really do.
It's the most
I-
people do.
I,
That's a lot of people,
I love
feel
it,
like.
but I don't. I want to say that when I was back in school, I never had. I didn't have a lot of friends in my class.
Okay.
I knew everybody, and everybody knew me. Everybody knew me what I knew me
Yeah.
that I was. But as a kid, I always wanted to be like with the popular kids.
Yeah.
And it was just one of those things in my head.
Yeah.
But I never, and because I wanted to, I never strayed away what I wanted to do. I was always in dance class, but I was in dance class like 5 towns over. Nobody
I
knew.
see what you're saying.
You know,
Okay.
and because somebody was
So you
gonna
would do the
evident-
things you wanted, but you
yeah.
kind of got away from the town.
Exactly. And I mean, we had an acting class. Well, I was in acting class with your brother Rich.
That's what I was saying, because I'm pretty sure my brother did some of that. I don't know exactly what he did as much.
Your brother was my acting class. Like
Yeah.
we had an acting class like second period, and we actually did a scene together.
I believe it.
And your brother and I loved your brother. When we were kids, when I first met him in 8th grade, he sat in front of me in Mr. Valentine's class when he started over at Howard, and he was.
I remember Mr.
And your brother
I think
sat,
so.
and we sat. You walk in the door, and your brother sat,
Yeah.
and then I sat behind him. And I guess your cousin Elena, or
Yes.
kinda.
17th.
Yeah, 17th. You know, we're Italian, so we're
Yeah.
cousins.
Yeah.
And Rich and I, and but then you know, like people, I didn't play sports, and
No, I hear you.
and not for nothing, there were a lot of knuckleheads at
Oh,
school.
trust
Yeah.
me.
You know, let's keep it real. I mean, there were a lot of
I,
knuckleheads at school.
I was a knucklehead in high school. I was, you know, it
You're a
is what it
knucklehead
is.
out of
I'm a
high school.
knucklehead out of high
You
school.
could be friends with you could be friends with somebody,
But-
and then they start hanging out with knuckleheads,
Exact- I know what
and
you're
then
saying.
like one day you're walking down the hallway and they call you,
And
you
it's
know,
like,
they're
yeah.
like faggot. You
Yeah,
know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah, yeah.
And it sucks, and you're like, what did I do?
Yeah,
so,
it's such a weird thing. It's
That's like the
that
weirdest-
peer pressure
Mhm.
thing.
That's why I love
That's
the
the
show, like Euphoria or any of those high school shows.
Mhm.
What was the other one that was on Netflix? The
13 Reasons Why.
13 Reasons
It's
Why.
true.
It is as true as it
It's
gets.
very true.
Hmm.
By the way,
You know, I didn't
It's
see that.
sadly
Was that
true.
good?
It was excellent.
Yeah.
I'm watching Euphoria, and I think I said this last time. I am realizing how out of touch with kids of today I
Is
am.
that really how you think it is, though? Like
I
that?
don't know.
though?
I
Because
think
these kids
so.
do you watch Euphoria?
I saw the first episode and I was like I wasn't appalled, but I was kind of like, I was like,
Exactly.
what is going on?
By
Yeah.
The same
episode
thing,
3,
it was-
there's a full frontal. I'm sorry, I'm
Exactly.
spitting.
No,
There's
it's
a
okay.
full frontal of a fat guy jerking off his micro penis
I heard, yeah, that's
Wow.
fake. It was
on a
fake
webcam
penis,
with like a girl who's a high school student who's doing the webcam. But they show it, and I'm like, this is fucking HBO.
But it
But
wasn't
I-
fake. It was a
I
prosthetic
don't care
penis.
if it was fake. You think it's real. The whole imagery is there. You know what I'm
What
saying?
bothered
Like-
me is that they were calling it a micro penis, and I was like, that looks kind of familiar.
No, I think I said the same thing when I watched 13 Reasons Why too, because I was like, wait a second. So kids have tattoos,
Yeah.
like high school kids have. I didn't
Oh,
buy
shit.
that.
Right.
No, high
And
school
then
kids
I-
have tattoos.
This is when I was still like writing stuff on Facebook, and I was kind of like, I don't understand this. Like, what? And are the kids really listening to The Cure? Are they
Well,
are
that's
they
what I'm
listening to
saying.
that
Just
kind of
like the
music? Like this,
t-shirts.
yeah.
Yeah.
I really think it's like that now.
I
And
think
the only
it might
reason
be.
why is because when I feel like everything always progresses earlier as time goes on. And kids are maturing now, and with the internet at your fingertips,
Without
it's
a doubt.
impossible
Without a doubt.
not to see
Well, you can't
things that they
maintain your
should.
innocence.
Yeah, exactly. So I
Yeah.
think these kids are experimenting and are doing all this earlier.
Yeah.
You know
Well,
what I
have,
mean?
it's tough because they're especially with young girls, from what I understand, like they, you know, when you got bullied in high school.
Yeah.
When I got bullied in high school, it wasn't
Hey,
bad.
listen, it happened to
like,
all of us.
You know, like not really
get
bullied,
bullied
but like
now.
you get your balls broken, and like you know, it was in school. But then you got on the bus and you went home, and I
And
went
you
up in
didn't
my
have to deal
room
with it.
and I drew and I read my comic books and I
You were able to get away.
I get away, and I also had a theater group, which was very.
And you made friends do that.
and you make
stuff.
friends do that, and then
Yeah.
like you had a little group, and
You like found your home there.
it was a niche.
Yeah.
Like of course they were the kids who like wore the black trench coats
Right.
and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Before it was meant
Before it was-
shooting up
it
your
was-
school.
Yeah.
It was before that, like all
Oh,
the kids.
pre-Columbine.
It was,
That's
pre-
right.
it was
Was that
crazy.
like a thing?
I hung out with those
Pre-Columbine?
kids.
Yeah.
I mean, kids wore
Oh,
that
see,
stuff,
I
and then
didn't know that.
after that, you got associated with a psychopath.
Yeah,
Exactly.
it was a very
I
weird
thought
thing.
he was just a great. Like, that was a
No,
style.
No, that was a
I don't want to
style.
say
A lot of-
gothic, but it was the kids who
There was some
listened to
goth
heavier
kids.
rock.
I would say it was
Okay.
goth,
And
but
yeah,
it was
kind of the gothic group, so
Yeah.
to speak,
I was
wore
into some of
black
those
and
guys.
like trench
Yeah.
coats, and
Cool.
they, the eyeshadow, I
I
guess.
had-
Like,
I had
you know,
friends
it was
that-
there.
that dressed like that too. You know, it didn't mean that they were going to
Blacks
shoot.
with the Janko jeans,
Oh
with the
my God,
chains.
forget it. Well, that was after me.
Was that?
Yeah, me and Jimmy had. Even my brother. My
You know
brother.
what? You're
Jimmy,
right. That was
he had
when I was in
Jankos.
middle school.
I got a
That's
pair
when
of-
people.
I got a
I never had a
pair
pair
of
of
Jankos,
Jankos, but I, they were.
Oh my God, we had Cavaricis. That's what we did.
Oh my
Oh,
God!
You remember that? We did the
jeez.
Cavarici. That was our big, like, you talk about a pair of pants, Cavarici,
Yeah.
and we like French cuffed it. It
Oh,
was like
boy.
junior high school. Yeah,
Isn't
we had
the
like the
Cavarici-
champion sweater with like the.
Chris is lost
You know what
right
I'm
now.
talking about. No,
No,
listen,
that's like
it was
that.
legit.
But the
Oh, it is,
Cavarici,
it is
does
true.
that have like
with Adidas.
the hip, like it's like tight at the hip too?
Like it was like,
Like-
they flared out a little bit on the sides,
Yeah.
and then they like pleated and something, and then like they kind of came down like a what are they when your pants come down, like
Tight fit?
They
Like
tight fit, but it was like
skinny jeans?
they were like
Well,
skinny jeans, and then what you
I'm
did was
wearing- I'm
you
wearing
took them.
like
No,
a-
they look great,
yeah.
but it's kind
Oh, you're
of they're
wearing
kind of like
capris.
joggers in the
I'm wearing
sense
capris.
at the time. And you would take the bottom of and you would do a French cuff. You would like fold it over and you flow it on one, and then you would wear whatever Keds or
Yeah, yeah.
like pumps.
Keds,
Weird.
yes.
You wear like pumps or
Oh,
something like
pumps.
that.
Oh.
I mean, maybe that's what I wore, but I had
No,
some
that,
pumps,
yeah,
and they
that-
had like the acid wash
I love
kind,
it.
and they had the black
Wow.
kind, and it was all like it was kind of like it was like that the Guido era.
Yeah.
like every I don't know who's a Guido, like the guys from Color Me Bad, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That was junior high school.
Wow.
But then, we're talking high school when everybody was kind of in the grunge phase.
I was
Like,
gonna
don't-
say,
I
high
think-
school was the
Please.
It's
grunge
funny.
era.
Everybody sort of just goes through these phases, and we just dress how
I had so many flannels, I couldn't tell you.
I still.
I
do.
listened to Pearl Jam, that's what I was doing.
That's it. You look like Eddie Vedder.
Exactly. But not, I would love to show you pictures of me from high school.
Oh, I would
my
love to see
God,
some
I
of
will
them.
send them next time. But where were we? We're talking about.
We just started from the talent show, and then
So like, no,
it veered
I
off.
never did the talent show. I did the shows, but like that was my thing. If anybody ever asked me, I would have. But I mean, I wasn't friends with any of those guys, and it was actually, and for a long time that like upset me. Like every
believe
year,
it, yeah.
every year I came to school, I'll never forget this. And this is to admit this. I used to come every
See, this
year.
is what happens with this show.
It's crazy. When I used to go every year and I get all my new clothes and
Yeah,
everything.
yeah. Everybody did.
And,
Summer
and
school.
I remember
summer shop.
every year I would right before I got on the bus, like 9th grade, 10th grade,
Yeah.
11th grade. By 12th grade I was like, it ain't happening. But I was like, this is going to be the year that people are going to see who I am, or
This-
not
yeah.
necessarily like that.
This is my year,
And this is
baby.
my
This
year.
is my year.
And it was funny
You
because
can't not help but feel that way
this is
in
my
a
year.
new
And you
pair
know what?
of Cavarici.
It was exactly, and it was
I got
never.
my Keds, my Cavarici.
Everybody, the first day of school, you feel it's
You
the
feel-
best you're gonna feel all
dope.
year.
And then it just goes down from
I
there.
got my new Trapper Keeper. I'm ready to go, baby.
Well, I tell
So-
me that to myself that every Monday this year.
Yeah.
Every Monday in my life
was-
now that like this is gonna be the week where I pull my shit
I
together.
do it every month.
And it's been going.
And here we are.
And
Every Monday.
It's another
This is
Monday.
yeah, I got the call today. I was
Every
like,
Sunday night, I
Yeah.
finish a pack of cigarettes. Like yes,
Oh,
starting tomorrow
That's the
without
one.
them.
That's it.
By
That's it.
4 o'clock, it's like new pack.
Ma, I just had my last cigarette. Again.
meatloaf,
Again.
meatloaf,
Meatloaf.
I
but-
feel like that's super relatable, though. Everybody feels
Every
brand
year.
new
No,
right
of
away, and then sadly, within a week,
yeah,
But
you're
that's
like,
probably
you're
a
back,
very
you know,
common
it just-
high school story.
100%.
it's pretty,
Oh,
you know,
well,
and,
you
and
have
it's
to get
funny
some new
because
stuff.
I just did my thing. By my senior year, like I was like, I'm not going to Iceland to take a dance class. I'm going to take it in town.
Yeah.
And like by that point, I didn't care because I was also doing like
Yeah.
semi-professional theater and things like that. And I knew that was going to be my way, you know, out of Farmingdale.
Yeah.
Like out to, you know, I knew I was going to a professional theater training program, and I knew that I wanted to do professional theater. Like,
But
get
there's
paid.
also something to be said about finding yourself earlier, because you, it seems to be though, at an earlier age, knew what you wanted
Mhm.
to do.
Mhm.
You know, even though there was other things that you hoped to, with the popular kids and stuff, but you knew what you wanted, as opposed to a lot of those popular kids. And I could even say myself included. I was a fairly popular guy. In high
Okay,
school.
relax.
No, but my point is,
Okay.
I was still a mess and had no idea what I wanted
Yeah.
to do. You know what I mean? Like being popular in high school is so
He
minuscule.
was a star quarterback.
But my
Like
point is,
that-
it's just a
that
minuscule
deep in
and
high school
irrelevant part of your life to an extent.
It
can be fun, but after that, then what?
You're right, because as you were going through it, you were probably like, but looking back, you had a vision earlier on than most
what I
people.
want to do, but I still wanted to be accepted. And
Yeah.
and it's pretty funny because I think back. Well, actually, as the years have passed, it's been like 20 years since I've been in school. But I find that people look me up, or they Facebook you, or they want to know what you do, and you seem like you're doing something interesting. And you get. I mean, I went to my 10-year reunion.
I was gonna say, what? Yeah.
I had a great time.
Did you go to both?
Too. Blast.
Did you go to both?
Yeah. The first one.
Recently, yeah.
The first one was like during MySpace era, and nobody wanted to pay to go to it. They were like. And then so we went to a bar. We went to.
I think I dropped my brother off.
We went to the library, and more people came to that than the actual reunion.
Because it's ridiculous.
And so it was, and like I was like, okay, cool. But now the 20-year, I was like, I'm an adult. I want to like. You know, when I was whatever, I was 28 or I was 28. Like I just went in jeans and a t-shirt, whatever. But like this one, I was like, I want to have like a cocktail in a glass. I want to wear a suit.
Yeah.
I want to, go
exactly
and
classing it up a little bit.
Yeah,
for
and
this
we
one.
had a great time, and we had
this one was actually at a nice place, right?
Yeah, right off of
This is the one where I took my brother and his wife there.
Okay.
That was one. My brother was there, I think. He wasn't there for a long time because I took him and picked him up, and it wasn't a long night.
I must have. You know what? The one over on. It was right off of 110.
Yep. It was at like a hall.
We had a great time, and like I want to say maybe a fourth of our class came.
Well, what was your graduating class?
This is for the 20th, right?
Yeah.
Had to be 400. What?
We had about 400.
The 20th.
Yeah.
We had a great time, and like some people wanted to, like you still saw some sort of like there was like a I don't know, class structure. What do you want to call it? Like,
right.
There was some people who only hung out with people they want to hang out with, and then
what's the point of going back and hanging out with the same people?
But there were a couple of interactions I had that were very, very interesting. I mean, there were certain people who were, hey, what's going on? And there was other people who gave me the chin, the chin.
Yeah.
Like what's up?
Yeah.
All right,
what's going on? And then keep it.
And then some people like, how are you? What's going? I saw you, and you're doing musical theater.
People mature as they get older, and all their
Yeah.
high school BS sometimes will kind of just evaporate with time.
away,
And
yeah.
people
And
will
some people
appreciate.
it doesn't. And
Some people it doesn't.
And then
but
they're lonely people that end up.
that's usually
by
how it
themselves.
And there was this one guy. I had this one. Go ahead, man. I'm sorry. I thought you were going to say something.
I just switched my glasses.
Oh, I'm an interrupter.
No.
I'm an interrupter too, Rob. Don't worry about it.
I had an interaction with somebody I never thought I'd have an interaction with, and this kid was scary. I don't want to name names, but this kid was scary. He was scary because, first of all, he was a baseball pitcher, and he was scary on the mound, and I was just like. I bat last, and I'd be like, just don't hit me, and maybe I'll get 4 balls, and I was really good at that.
Yeah.
And
good eye.
And we
That's all they said to
the best eye in
and we had a
baseball.
long conversation, and we just kind of chatted about how you doing, blah blah blah. And like the last guy I thought I'd have a conversation with, and I was like, how's your family? What's this? What's wrong? I was like, I don't really have a good relationship with my family, and that's why I was the way I was in high school, and I got I went in the military. I did this. And I realized the kind of person I was
in high school.
But the people do work, and some people don't do work.
Yeah.
Do the work.
Yeah,
later
to get
on.
them. Yeah,
And it was great.
And
we
you
had
could tell
lots of
he
chat,
kind of.
and he was kind of like in his own way apologizing for being the way it was.
Some people, that's the way you get it.
And I totally saw it, and if that's what you're gonna get, that's what you're gonna get. And I appreciate it. And he's a super guy, and I haven't talked to him since, but if you see him on the street, hey, how you doing?
Right.
Now I think about it, I did see your brother at that.
Yeah, because that one I know he was at. I don't know about the other 10. He might have still been in Florida, but I took him to that one.
And I always wanted to be accepted, and I always thought I had to change to accept. But now, all these years later, you feel good that you stayed true to yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And people saw you, and you realize that some people who were popular it was so hard for them to be friends with certain people because they had to keep this facade going.
This image.
Most of those people weren't even. I don't want to say happy because you can't say that, but they were something they're not.
But that's the thing. You get out of high school, and then who are you?
And then you could be what you. And then that's when you find out who people really are. Is out of high school when you have no choice but to really find yourself and do what you're not. It's not a group that you follow with.
Yeah, I realized it was hard. Not I didn't get my ass kicked or anything.
Right.
But I was afraid of people calling names and stuff like that, or but I found that I just lost my train of thought. So emotional.
Let's just call him names and hopefully he'll get his.
No, I.
Come on!
No,
Get together, jerk!
No. You find that that people respect that more now.
Yes.
And I'm happy that I didn't change for somebody else.
Yeah,
so
that's
cool.
That's
That's really cool. And I have no ill will to. I know people like, oh, I would never go to that reunion or anything, but I think some of those things really they turn you into the person you are.
Mhm.
You were the sum total of your
whatever your experiences. Yeah,
yeah.
exactly.
I think it's great. I think it's great to go back to, those high school even in the Facebook era where we know everything about each other.
Well, that's kind of
we
how
don't
people
really
end
know.
up. Yeah, you don't know what's going on with people, and most of the times the images of what you see on Facebook and the posts are a shell of what's going on.
It really is. And then you have
and just what they want to show.
Yeah,
which
exactly.
is so true.
And very rarely do people ever show the negative. It's only the good moments you see, and not the fucking awful moments.
But then you can go and you can have a good conversation with somebody that you never even expected, and it's like, all right.
And then sometimes, you'll rekindle not even rekindle. You'll start a relationship with somebody you never even had one with.
Yeah.
Good, bad, or indifferent. Just
Yeah, I
new
think it's a good thing. I don't think I think a lot of people look at it as today we all know.
But I think that's what boils down to how we came full circle from high school.
Yeah.
High school is just it's an interesting time for everybody.
Well, you're really growing up more than
Yeah.
anything. In high school, that's when you're developing, right?
And your brain isn't fully developed.
You're just trying to figure it all out.
Got all these
Nobody is-
hormones going on. You don't know what's going on.
Wait, what'd you call it?
I don't know, hormones.
Hormones.
Man, my accent is
My
come back.
hormones are raging.
I've been living back here, having conversations with my mother, and my mother, and my accent has come back in full force.
Yeah.
And sometimes I'll go back to New York and see my theater friends,
Yeah.
and they'll be like, "What did you say?"
What
My
are you
mother,
talking?
what? That's an accent,
Yeah.
but it's also authentic.
Did you have to work with somebody to get rid of an accent, or
I'll never forget
It's like a
this.
speech coach, right?
Yeah, when I was my first year in college, I was up in Hartford, so it was all these people from different. It was always people from like Philly, Boston,
Yeah.
and here.
the tri-state area?
And they
Just
definitely
you
have
know,
all of
Boston's
these accents because
not- yeah.
Philly has that weird home and fam weird thing.
Yeah, it's like that Pennsylvania weird stuff. Yeah, that
And
is.
all my friends and
They say warder.
Warder, right.
What, W-A-R?
They,
Yeah,
there's like
it's
there's like a
it's
hard R
warder.
after the W. It's like you have a warder.
It's so strange. And then you have all the obviously the Boston
my
kids.
word
who
of
are
it.
from,
That is the worst
Boston,
accent
Yeah,
ever.
like
Yeah.
my
Right.
friend, my buddy Jesse Sullivan had like this awful Paktika. He was from Cava, Mass.
Ugh.
So and then
Such
but
an
we had this
annoying
one
accent.
teacher, and this teacher had like one of those like Mid-Atlantic accents. He talked like this all the time. And I'll never,
Yeah.
and he'd sit there and he would do monologues and stuff like that, and he'd look like he was in pain. Like he'd be sitting there, and I mean, you have it over there, but he'd be sitting there like somebody said it was purging the devil from his soul. So he would do this, and he would just sit down like this, and he'd sit in the class, and he looked like Richard Burton. Richard Burton, he had that like that jaw, and he'd be like, and we'd do our monologue, and he'd be like, Mr. McCaffrey, where you from? And I'd say, Long Island. He'd be like, yes you are.
It's like
You should really work on that.
he was pained by everybody.
So, but I learned how to get rid of it through singing. I think you have to have
Okay.
pure vowels and things like that. And then Mr. Sullivan would come up and he'd be like, he'd do something from Hamlet, be like, and he had this awful New England accent. You must be from Boston. And he'd be like, sit down.
I would be the worst because I don't think I'd be able to lose it.
No,
But I don't think you
don't
should.
know.
You were talking about acting last week, weren't you?
I would love to do acting.
See, here's the situation. I think that's the authenticity of it all. Because if you want to do it, you should do it. I mean, I look at you and there's an actor you remind me of. Do you know Dominic Lamberdozzi? You know who he is. Did you watch?
Give me something he's been on.
He's been in a million things, but one thing I can really put my finger on right now is, do you remember in,
Let's see if we can.
do you remember Entourage?
Yes.
Remember when their friend Dom came from
Oh,
that
yes,
guy?
the
But
bald
he's on
guy.
everything. He played like...
He was in
Of course.
Ray
Daredevil.
Donovan too.
He was Ray Donovan.
He was the guy that copped the.
He was
yes.
right. He
Okay.
was like
He's in a
the
couple of
king.
I
HBO
know
shows.
exactly who you're
Yeah.
talking
Right.
about.
So...
By the
But then
way,
you're like typecasted.
No, but look, man.
but
I
that's
get
what
it.
he is.
Use what
It
you
is.
got.
Use what
But-
you got.
but you know
is
what
right.
it is, like,
Yeah.
How many times you see an actor and they try to do a New York accent, and you're like, oh, come on, Brad Pitt.
No,
Yeah.
it's true.
Come
When
on.
somebody tries it, it's a lot worse than
Yeah.
the act. I could just be a New Yorker and everything.
Exactly.
I got to start with being an extra. That's how I want to try and get in and work my way up.
Yeah, or you could just get some lines and stuff like that. All I'm saying is like, I think people think of being an actor and you, like, Brad Pitt plays Brad Pitt.
Yeah.
You know,
They almost-
Clooney plays Clooney in everything. You just see George Clooney, and you have your own, you know, your authenticity. You know what I'm trying to say? Like,
Yeah.
But when you
Bill
involved
Burr
in
plays
acting,
Bill Burr.
Bill Burr does play Bill Burr.
Do you watch a lot of stuff when you are an actor, or do you not watch? Like,
I watch everything. I think
Only hit your picks though.
do you watch my picks?
I-
Have you taken one pick? Because
Can I
I
have another
suggested
cocktail?
Yeah.
Because
By the way-
now I'm like the chopper block. I'm
I
like,
can't wait next
it.
week.
You can say no.
Next
I'm trying to
week's-
think of what I feel like there was one or
This
two.
probably
things-
That's all I need is one.
one or two. I mean,
probably by accident.
did you
By accident.
did
I
you
do three.
did you pick
Popular.
did you do because I started watching it? Did you pick True Detective?
Yes.
All right, the new one with
Yes.
It's the first time you heard about it. So it's, you know,
yeah.
He makes fun of me. 'cause
Nobody
what am I
heard about
supposed to do though?
It was so it's so
Next
good in the middle
week,
of it.
next week, all his
Nobody's
picks,
watched my picks this week.
Next week, it's all gonna be Dominic Lombardozzi picks.
Yeah.
Did you watch?
You gotta change
I watched.
his guys out
I watched. I watched Thrones.
Damn.
I
Did you
watched
like
it.
it?
Because of
I
Chick, though?
look,
Yeah.
man. I'm a nerd. I
Yeah.
know all
Did
the
you read the
Marvel
books?
movies. I read up until the Feast for Crows. I'm like, this is.
So that's what, 3 or 4 books?
I read the 4th book and I get to the 5th book. I was like,
Okay.
they're on a boat and I don't care. Like seriously, like I was like, what is going on? There's another Targaryen. Like I was like, forget about it.
I heard about that.
I'll read them at some point, you know. But
Yeah.
Did you like the last season?
I liked it. Was it rushed? Possibly, but from an actor standpoint, I don't know how much longer I want to be on that damn show.
Well, that was my
That's
other
what I
thing.
was thinking.
And I
That's
think that's what
Yeah,
happened.
I mean, that's.
I don't think it was rushed. I think it was just time to move on.
It was time.
It was time. I think
You're getting
everybody needs to
tired.
I mean, it's 11 years.
10 years of the
10 years of the
same show.
And it's great and everything, and it takes a lot out of them. But like people want to move on, and like they're characters, but they're all going to be in something else.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
all blowing up. I mean, you see Rob Stark and a whole bunch of
Yeah.
things. He was just in Rocket
Sophie
Man.
Turner, I follow her on Instagram. I don't follow celebrities on Instagram, but she's one of the few that I do because she's hysterical.
I know.
Yeah.
Isn't
that's
that
Yeah.
Sophie?
Tough life marrying a
Oh,
Jonas
a Jonas
brother.
brother.
Yeah,
Yeah,
rough.
she's
Rough.
got it made.
Oh,
I like.
shit,
I mean, I really like that. But I know all about those nerdy things. Like, are you going to be upset about something that happened in the Marvel movies? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
I don't get angry about that stuff because it's like I read all that stuff. Like, I was the
Mhm.
kid who
Yeah.
went to the comic book store past Howard over on Main Street, and it was just
Oh, do you remember
no Morals nostalgia. Are you kidding me?
Wait, but
we
do you-
were buds.
Do you remember what happened down there?
No, what? Was there some touching?
There was some
There's
time.
some kid touching?
There was some kid.
Oh,
touching.
no.
Get outta
No.
here.
I think if it's the same one,
allegedly.
there would. I think News
Don't
12.
say allegedly.
You're
Throw 'em
talking
right
about the
under.
one over near the dance studio,
It was on Main Street.
right across from Wallbounds. Now it's CVS. Listen
It was
to
a
my
little
accent.
further down, but I believe there was.
Not okay. That one. We didn't go to that
Okay.
one. In fact, they used to prank call that one from the other one. I was at the one that was legit. The guy looked like a biker.
Okay, no, I don't think it was that.
No, you're talking about the one. I know what one you're talking about. Yeah.
It was a
So
little.
get back to
Is
this.
it
The
the
guy
night-
who was diddling
I
the boys?
believe we talked about one of
He was using comic books.
Wait,
as
was
bait.
it in the 90s or was it like there was a?
Yeah, it was in the 90s. It was
Okay.
in the 90s, and there was a.
It
there
was B.
No,
He
it
was a
wasn't.
kid.
Yeah.
There
It
was
was like.
I
You
feel
wanna
like we
read-
talked
you
about
wanna
this.
read the X-Men?
I think we talked about this early on in the podcast. But there was there was one person at least that I graduated with that went down there, and they were trying to take like photographs of the kids,
Oh.
and a friend of ours was like, "I'm not taking a photograph of my underwear, you pervert," and left.
There you
And
go.
News 12 was there.
You
Like,
can't mess.
and they
You
shut
can't
them
mess
down.
around with that stuff in Long Island.
Yeah, I
They don't
remember
mess
being-
around.
Oh.
But in Idaho,
In Idaho, it's
In Idaho,
you
I'll
can
be
you,
like,
you can sleep with
sure.
you can get your dad to jerk you off, and you can get sleep with the mom, and then take the girl and tell her there's aliens. I mean,
what? Yeah, that was
dude, that was
crazy.
dope. Was that a chick pic?
What?
It should have been.
Wait,
What
what's
what was the name
What
of
was
it?
the name
I don't know. It was kind of like I don't
Um,
know, abducted in plain
Yeah,
sight.
yeah.
Oh, yes, it was.
I watched that
love
too.
that one.
Oh,
Boom.
up top.
Dude, that was the one with the parents. They let the kids go to sleep, and then they
That
went
would
to
have
dinner.
never happened here.
No.
You know what though?
I don't know, man.
They
I
were
don't
Mormons
know.
though too.
Right.
Do you think that
But maybe
people
what-
are really? I feel like that's not an uncommon thing. Like, do you think those parents are bad parents?
I don't think they're bad parents. I just didn't think that. I think that they
You
were
think
just.
it's a negligent move when you could see the bedroom.
Wait, what?
Okay, so basically, these people went out to
No,
eat
I
at
saw the.
their room was visible from where they were sitting, apparently.
Oh, we're talking about a different.
Wait.
Abducted in
you're
plain
talking
sight.
About, you're talking about.
Oh,
The
abducted in
Mormons in
plain sight was the
Idaho.
uncle.
Oh my God.
Yeah, no.
No, this is the guy
You're
that.
talking about the guy that lied. He slept with both the parents.
Yes,
And the dad was
okay,
like,
yes,
he
you're
wanted
right,
to
that
leave,
was
so
another
I
one. I got a lot of picks.
What was that one though? That was good.
That was Madeline McCain.
That's a good one too.
Yeah.
That one I kind of got bored with halfway
It's
through. It was
a
very
little
slow
long.
moving.
It was a
It
little.
was slow. It was too long for what it was, but it was good.
They could have made it one.
That
one
the
I'm sorry, that was my mistake.
Abducted in plain sight.
Abducted
though,
in plain sight. Yeah,
That
it
was
fucked the whole family.
that would not.
That was
That would not. I don't think that would happen here.
no.
Well, I
Where
mean,
did that happen again? Where was that?
That was Idaho.
Yeah,
was it?
Idaho.
Yeah.
It was
Okay.
Idaho. I mean, we did have that weird thing. What was that guy who was like teaching kids math, and him and the son got. They were in like Mineola or
I've
like
heard- I know
Great
what you're
Neck.
talking
that
about,
one?
but I don't-
It was
I
a
don't
big
know.
deal going
Yeah,
on in the
it was
80s with that, but
similar
that
thing.
happened. But like
You
kids
know
are
what?
too savvy here, man.
It's not the kids. It's also the families. I think New Yorkers in general. And this I knew from when I sold chimney sweeps. I used to telemarket chimney sweeps. You know, like those
Chim
chimneys.
chimmery, chim chimmery, chim chimmery.
You know those.
Before you moved up to
was
Compton.
wait, did you see the new Mary Poppins? Was that one of your picks?
Maybe this guy is turning it around.
You were a salesman from the sucker.
Hello.
I
Would
used
you
to
like
tell-
the chimney sweep?
I just see chick out of a Charles Dickens novel.
looking like Dick Van Dyke.
No, you guys got a much
Clicking his
innocent,
heels.
much more innocent view of
I
what
Oh
was-
it
my
really
God,
was.
that is so.
This was like a boiler room in that me and a few of my friends worked at for like these gangsters who ran it. And we basically would call up states outside of New York because New Yorkers are too keen on what you're trying to accomplish. So you would call them
So
and
you
tell
missed
them,
those Iowans.
You would charge them like $40 for a chimney sweep.
Yeah.
Go sweep
What
the
was
flue
your
pipe.
pitch? What would you
I
say?
don't even remember.
You
It's
might have
like-
pigeons in there.
No, it's just that you
But
gotta
there
get the
was
flue
no
pipe
rules.
clean. Well, there are, but they would go there and just try and sell personal liner, which is like
Oh.
a titanium pipe or aluminum pipe. that you
Did
sell
they
in there.
did they ever get did the sweep show up?
We would show up, but they would. I mean, a lot of the people who were actually doing the cleanings, one wouldn't clean it and still charge them. They would just tell them there's something wrong with it, so they could
They
drop
just
a
sit on the
liner.
roof and wait.
Or they would just steal things out of the medicine cabinet from the older people who were on lots of medications.
Oh, the good stuff.
Yeah, so it was just like I didn't actually go on the road to do the sell, but I was a telemarketer, and I got out of that. I was only
Plausible
there for a little bit.
deniability. I like it, chick.
I was
do.
only there for.
Now listen, I never cleaned any
Yeah.
chimneys.
Hey, but what do I know?
Oh yeah, what
Right,
I
what do I know?
All I was doing was
I
offering
heard
a
people were
sweet.
stealing medicine, and sometimes we could get a good haul. But that's only what I heard.
But the
I heard things.
The
I heard
point, the
things.
point of my story was New Yorkers are a little smarter when
The
it
point
comes
of your
to.
story means nothing. We just wanted to know you were a chimney sweep. It doesn't matter what you're about.
And I
to
got
say.
to sing Mary Poppins. There
Yeah.
you go. You want to hear a little bit of my
That was
voice? There
perfect.
you go. Oh
But
my God.
I would like to know more about your acting.
Talk
and
to
your,
me.
Your theaters.
Yeah.
Well, you talk to us.
Yeah,
What
so
did
out
you-
of high
Ask me
school,
questions.
so you're in high school, you
Mhm.
graduate, and when you're trying to go to college, you were saying, I want to get to a
So I went to-
theater program.
So I went to a music theater program at the University of Hartford. At
Been
the Hart
there.
School in
Connecticut, right?
Connecticut.
Yeah.
So I went there for 4 years, and some of my colleagues would be Marin Ireland from. Did you watch Sneaky Pete?
Yes.
Okay, so I went to school with her.
Oh, all
And
right.
remember Todd from Wedding Singers, the brother, the weird brother.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Kier O'Donnell.
Yes.
They were in the acting program, and I was in the music theater
Oh,
program.
wow.
So I did acting, and I did sing. I had a voice lesson and everything. And it was like a conservatory. So I would have I would have an acting class. I would have a voice lesson where they would teach you about technique, and then I would have a voice coaching where I'd learn songs. And we used to have like a music theater chorus lab where we'd all sing together, and we do a show. We do like 4 shows. We do like 2 black boxes and 2 main stage productions. And through that, freshman year you wouldn't perform.
You're sort of like an intern.
Yeah, like you would work. We'd work backstage. That's
Yeah.
why I was like,
Like
do you
help
want to do
setting
that?
up and stuff.
Exactly.
So
Those
you
are
know
the guys-
everything that goes on too, though.
Yeah, you kinda know what's
more
going on.
appreciation.
There's a lot going on. You have to be friends with technicians. They're good people.
Mhm.
You know, actors it's all about me right here on
But
stage.
it's not.
But it's really not, because if there was no lights, if there was no
Mhm.
costumes, if there was no, you know, it's such a team effort. But
There's so
Everybody's
much that goes
screenplay.
into like a production like that. There's
Yeah.
a lot of moving parts.
Is the end goal always Broadway in these? Is that like the
You know, is it
the epitome of?
is it the end game? It used to be.
But not any- like now. It's.
I would
that's what
love
was
to.
asking.
I would love to do it. You know, I've been on national tours. You know, I've worked for the cruise lines. They have some good things going on.
Well, that's
too.
what I was saying.
You know, what is? I mean,
Does the internet help get you out? Like, can you do
it does.
something? And now it's
but like
more on
I'm so
film.
pre-internet. Like
Yeah.
like my friends, my younger friends are savvy. Like they know how to like new post and like
Yeah.
Instagram
Yeah.
and you know, and they put things up there, and I'm just like, how do I set up this camera?
Mm.
I'm old school, and I went away for a long time. And came back. I've only been really hitting it again since 2017.
What do you mean you went away for a long
I
time?
mean,
Sounds like you went to jail.
Yeah, what
right?
happened?
No, like, everybody has their ups and downs.
No,
You
no,
know,
I
like,
hear you.
I got to the city. I worked at a good place, a good restaurant job. I was
Alright.
making bank. We were out every night because we were working
Yeah,
downtown.
you just switch it up.
We were
a little.
hanging out. We were hanging out with chefs to take you to a good place. You know, you show. Oh, I'm from this place. Oh yeah, come in. I didn't have to like.
Oh,
we were
yeah.
at clubs and stuff.
So
I have a
you were
good
living
time.
the good life in the
I was
city.
living a good life. I was making money. I was, you know, making my rent and having money to play around with.
And that's what it's
And
all
then
about.
one day I walked. One day I walked out of the room of my job.
the boom boom room.
Yeah, and I was like, what the fuck am I doing? And so like I've had that was when I first got to the city. I had like a good run with some good regional theaters I worked with for 4 years, and then I started working for the auto show. Do you ever go to the auto show?
No.
You seem like an auto show guy. You like cars, don't you?
No, I hate cars.
Get out of town.
You want to see my car?
you-
I'll show yes.
You look like a guy.
You look like a
who
fucking
would
car
Do
guy.
I?
Yeah.
You look
I look
guy
like a lot of
yeah,
things
look at
probably
that
not in
Bugatti.
here.
I love those Bugattis. That's an
No,
ugly car,
I'm
though.
No, he looks like he'd hate a Bugatti. I mean, too new.
Yeah, or like a
new.
Mustang or like
Yeah.
a.
Yeah, I'm
You're like a
down with you.
Mustang guy or like
but
a
I worked for them
Harley
for like
Davidson
for 4 years. I'd go around with Buick,
Oh,
and
all right.
we, show all the new cars. And I
Oh,
did that
okay.
for 4 years, and then, that was tiring, man. I'd fly all these different places.
See, well, travel.
So, yeah, you were all over.
Oh, but
you
I
probably
wanted
seen
to
the
do
country.
something that was more in line with, being personable, like using your personality, being on the microphone, talking
Yeah.
about the cars. That more than like waiting tables and bartending.
Yeah.
Because it was driving me nuts.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I feel like that's as personable as you get waiting in bartending.
Yeah, but at the same time, it's like
Well, the hours and everything.
it's
it is
the
a
hours,
grueling
and then
life.
like you get. It's just not, I wasn't focused.
Does it
No,
become
I
like
hear you.
routine where you just
yeah,
you're
because
not even talking
you
to somebody.
like
you
literally
just,
like you go to work. It was so tiring because like my life for a long time was like get up at noon, possibly do some stuff, be in by 3, work till 12,
Well, the
drink
hours
till
are rough.
4.
Yeah, that's the other part of it.
And then like go home and do it all
Yeah, just
over
do it
again.
all over
And there
again.
was no time to audition. There was no, and you didn't think you had time, but I didn't have the discipline.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
that's the other. No, I get it. I don't have discipline. with most-
that's how I feel
most
with
things.
comedy these days. I just like.
Well, that's why I told him his new job's killing his comedy career.
Yeah, it's tough. Like I just don't hit as much open mics, which I need to do
Mhm.
during the week. I'm getting booked on more shows, which is great, but I'm not. I'm just sort of going through the motions.
Of course, I mean, from what I understand, I listen to all those comedy podcasts. I
Yeah.
listen to all those guys. Obviously, I listen to a lot of Rogan. I listen to a lot
Mhm.
of Hardwick and stuff like that. His like comedians on all the time, and that's all they say. You gotta be there. You
Yeah.
gotta get in there. You gotta work your
There's
stuff.
no way not.
You
to.
got you gotta bomb.
Uh-huh.
But that's the same thing with
Anything.
It's
with
it's
anything.
it's relatable
You
to
have
any
to be there.
craft. I think.
Well, yeah, anything you don't do, again, anything that involves like practice to kind of keep yourself, in the game, so to speak, you need to do it.
You have to
can't-
dive in head first, and
you
you
gotta.
just. That's,
Well, that's why I say, and you get me, I need to work, and I get it, but I feel like if you really you've been doing this comedy thing for long now,
yeah.
and now I feel like I can see it with the job. I'm like, you're starting to work a lot. You gotta pick one.
Yeah, well,
not
it's
necessarily
it's
one,
not
easier said than
necessarily.
but
done.
it'll cut hours down if you want to do the comedy.
Well, the money is good. I
but
need
that's
the
the
money.
issue because we live in Long Island.
And it is it's a weird thing though. Like the more in the last month, I've been doing all book shows, which is good for me.
Mhm.
But
You haven't been doing the open mics.
but the open mics are key, and that's where you get better. To me, that's where you really
I'll go
grow,
with that.
and
I'll go
you
with
can
that.
you can bomb and that's where you get better. Yeah, and I am missing out on that, and I'll figure it out. But It is what it is.
But you need that survival job. I know all about that.
Well, that unfortunately is the problem. You need money.
That survival job will, you know, it's going there, doing it, and forgetting about it, and then putting your energy into what exactly you need to do for acting, for you know, for comedy.
I feel like most things that you're like passions of people, like acting and all those things, are not really lucrative in the beginning.
No,
so it's like,
and they might not be lucrative for a long time.
So it's like
or
you
ever.
need something to
they
get
might
you
not ever
go.
be
Well,
lucrative.
yeah, I mean that's
But you want to sit behind a desk.
Well,
No,
that's the
that's
other
the thing.
thing. You gotta find that.
But it's
the
this
happy
beautiful
medium.
thing if you have it. Like last night, I can I tell you guys a quick story about last?
Of course you can.
Yeah,
All right.
go for it. You've been wanting
your
to say
show.
this.
So I did
Sure be.
my last show at QED last night.
Yes.
We've been doing a Sunday night show, and it's just tough to get people to come out because we're at the point where we don't want to ask our friends to come out. We want to have like audience members to come. We're trying to grow it, right?
Yeah.
So this Sunday, it's our last Sunday. We're switching to Wednesdays at the end of the summer, which I think will be better for us in an earlier time slot. So we didn't prepare for the show at all. We didn't promote it. We were like, nobody's going to show up. So I get there, and there is one person that bought a ticket. One person. We're like, all right.
Yes.
So now
And it was Matt.
Yeah, no, I wish it was. I had 6 comics there. And I was like, listen, guys, here's the deal. We have one audience member tonight. We could cancel this, not do anything, or we can go in there and treat it like an open mic and just work on stuff and have fun, get on stage and tell our jokes, and let's have a good night, you know? So we're like, yeah, let's do that. So we get in. It was this girl, her name was Joy, and she brought joy to everybody. She was one of these people that just was fun.
Poetic.
Yeah. So she comes
Finally,
in.
parents nailed the name.
Yep. She was from Kansas. She's an actress, and
Was she blonde?
she was blonde.
Knew it.
She was hot.
Okay, she's from Kansas.
So right away I'm thinking, all right, let me try to talk to this one.
Of course.
Of course.
Good
I'm
for
trying to
you.
plot.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Good for you, B.
So
Fuck stage time.
on stage, I'm gonna try to hit on her from on stage. You know, that's how you gotta do it. So I
She's
go
captive
up,
at that moment.
and she's like, I'm gonna sit right in the front row. We're like, all right, great. As the show goes on, a couple more people come in, and they all sit at her table. So at one point, we're like, so what's going on? You guys all know each other? And she goes, no, we don't know each other. We met on meetup.com. This girl met people on some meetup site where if you're new to the town, I guess you can go on there and be like, hey, I'm going to a comedy
Some
show.
hot blonde says she wants to meet up people and had 100 dudes there.
Yep. So, like...
Was it all guys?
Yeah, 4 guys.
Yes!
You need to get her to come to every show.
Yeah.
That's it right there.
That's what we were... Exactly. So we go to this whole show. We brought her up on stage at one point. She's an actress. She loves it. You know, she's a little way...
Wait, actress?
She's an actress.
From Kansas?
From Kansas.
And she's blonde.
Does...
No way.
Yeah!
Is she a musical theater girl?
She does Disney stuff now.
Of course. Probably has huge eyes, right? Yeah.
Oh, big...
Yeah.
I need to see a picture because I
I'll show
have
you a
a
picture.
view
Oh,
of what I think of this person.
I'll show you guys a picture.
And right now, I feel like I've nailed it.
All right, so as we're going, I'm trying to, every time I was hosting, so every time I got up, I'm trying to like talk to like so you guys, I'm trying to figure this whole thing out. Like this was a meetup group, like you guys, nobody knows each other, and you're like, no, we just decided this will be fun, you know, this is how you meet people. All right, great. End of the show, it ended up being one of the most fun shows I've had in a while. End of the show, my buddy Nick is like, go over there, talk to them, try to get them on the email list. So I'm over there, I'm selling us. I'm like, I'm giving them.
You want to sign up for some emails?
I'm giving them like
Scare the 5 people who came away.
yeah, but they were like, they had a great time.
I know.
So I was like, all right, let's try to. So I'm giving them little cards with our information, and then they're like, hey, we're going to a bar across the street. You want to come? I'm like, of course.
What bar? Did you go to?
Rocky McBride's.
Oh. Why don't you just go to the? You gotta go to Let Love In if you're gonna. That's my old neighborhood.
Let Love In is
You know
right
that's
next
my
door.
old neighborhood,
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, no, we didn't go to. That's where they were going. I wasn't making the choices with them.
He's trying to bang this broad right now.
Oh, okay, fine. You go where she wants.
Trying to bang
Rocky McBride.
Yeah, I know.
God, it's such a.
Oh, Henry, you can come
By the way,
out. You know,
That's like the MERS. That's like the MERS pub of
It's the
Astoria.
MERS.
It is.
So it's right up my alley.
I let them go first. Now the bartender there, I would more call her a barmaid because that's what she is. She's a barmaid. She's like an old school.
Was the
barmaid.
guy with the tattooed head there?
I didn't see him that night.
Okay, but you know what I'm talking
But
about. though, right?
I've seen a motley crew of people.
It
at
is.
this place.
It is something crazy.
The bartender wants no part of anybody that's in there. Apparently, like they just don't. They're upset that people are there. Like
They don't want business.
No, because they have like their own, like they have like their townies. That's like
Yes.
a Astoria town. Like not people who move to Astoria, but like people who are from Queens.
yeah, people
go
that
there. like Queens, like
Queens.
bikers. Like
Yep.
there's some like civil servants go there. And cops and firemen and stuff like that. But once you get like,
You
hey, what's
whispered
going
that
on
like
here?
it was racist.
Oh well,
They don't want you guys
They don't
here.
want you. You go to
We're not
Sparrow
interested. Yeah.
and you like it.
Exactly. We have 3 mailmen that come here at noon every day. We're not interested in you.
Exactly, just cracking beers, and you're asking for like a Long Island iced tea. Get
Well,
out
that's the
of
thing.
here.
You guys are gonna be asking for drinks they don't want to make.
No,
Yeah.
exactly.
So I'm like, I'm gonna go in there. I'm gonna buy them all a drink because they made the night so much fun. I was like, I owe these people for turning this night. It was one of those nights where we were outside of the club before, like, why are we even doing this? This is awful.
It's like
And
every
then-
night.
Yeah, but this is even
No, I
worse.
know, I
And then like an hour and a half later, it was the most I've ever had, most fun I've had in a while on stage. So I'm like, I'm buying these guys drinks. Plus, I want to know about how they all met up. So as we're talking, one guy is like, yeah, I kind of like this girl. This hot girl was put this message online to come to the show, and like, we come to shows here, so we decided to come. So midway through the conversation, another guy shows up.
This is amazing. It's
She had
just
a-
like the Bachelorette.
Yeah. And as the guy shows up, I'm not thinking much of it. The guy shows up and starts talking to Joy, the actress, the blonde.
Yeah.
The group starts migrating to me. Okay.
Because all the guys are like, what the fuck?
Every guy is like, oh no. I guess this was a mistake. So then they start coming to me, and then I start getting the little comments like, yeah, she's a little, what's up with her? She's a little off. I'm like, yeah, but do you guys know her? They're like, yeah, but they're like, everybody didn't know each other, but already like had this girl in a corner of what she was.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because they all answered her separately, and they
Yes.
thought they were meeting
They
up
all
with her,
thought-
and it's 4 guys
Yep.
all like,
And every guy was like, no, I thought, a single girl, that's a single girl move. I thought she was talking to me. And I'm like, I thought she was talking to me.
This
That's
is
why I'm
where
over
the
here.
internet and all this stuff
Oh, man.
backfires. 5 guys thought they had a date with a hot blonde.
And then her boyfriend shows up. And it was
Yes.
It was perfect. And then they stayed for about a half a drink and left. And the rest of the night we were just like, talking about how odd this whole circumstance was.
Now, did you hang out with her at all after the boyfriend got there? Like when the boyfriend
Was it an
got there,
actual
was
boyfriend?
it still?
It was an actual boyfriend.
was he a musical theater guy?
I don't know. Here's the thing.
Was he tall? Did he have dark hair?
He had dark hair. Here's the other thing. 3 of the guys there were like,
I think I could still bang
Did
her.
he look like? Did he look like when I say like? Does he look like every time I think of like
No,
a
I don't
typical
mean
music
nothing.
theater guy
That doesn't mean
that
anything.
that blonde girl would date? Does he look like Prince Eric?
Okay, no, he
Do
didn't look like
You know what I
this.
mean? Like
He looked
dark
like,
hair, like.
he looked like the hobo in one of those movies.
He looked like the poor one.
It looked like all the guys, we were like, man, maybe we really did have a shot. When, when you see a hot girl and then she brings her like an ugly boyfriend in.
Can we talk about this in
Yes.
Disney terms?
Oh yeah.
If she's
In Disney
Elsa,
terms.
who's he? Timon? Pumbaa? Who is he?
Pumbaa.
He's
Pumbaa, definitely.
He's the moose that they ride.
He's the moose.
Yeah.
Is he
Wow.
Shrek? Is he Shrek?
Is he Shrek?
He's a Shrek type. He's
Wow.
he's not a prince.
He's
a
not
pauper.
a prince.
He's a pauper. Is
But-
he like?
He's the frog
It was one of those things where we're like, maybe we all had a chance. But
Maybe you still have a chance. She invited 5.
well,
single
here's the
dudes.
other thing that struck me was when she showed up, when the guy showed up, and she was sitting and talking to all of us. I looked. I was like, oh, what's up with this? And he tried to kiss her, and she sort of backed down. And then once...
Did you give him the cheek?
A little bit of a cheek. And then once all the crowd migrated and we kind of like figured out what was going on, it was like 5 guys just like, huh.
All standing around each other?
Yeah.
This is the best.
It's really
thing
romantic.
ever.
That's when they started kissing.
Yeah, of course.
And then they left. Yeah, but
She's like, oh, she was hoping to find somebody better. They weren't
Probably,
there, no
she did.
offense. And she's like, all right,
She's
he'll
like,
do.
nope.
I'll
this
stay
is-
with my boyfriend.
Yeah. she chose her.
Let me see what's
friends.
out there before I get rid of this one.
Oh my god, that is the funniest thing ever.
That's hilarious.
I think, can you get her to do that all the time? You have to recruit
That's
her.
the move.
Okay, well,
Yeah.
I did recruit her. She's an actress, and I was like, so you act? First of all, I tried to do this move. I had a picture of her on stage, so I was like, hey, I got a picture of you on stage. If you want, I can send it to you. And she's like, oh no, my arms look fat. I'm like, all right.
Oh yeah, she's an actress.
Yeah, and then she started talking about comedy, and she's like, I always wanted to do it. I want to try. And I was like, she was asking me like, how did you get started, and how did?
Well, here's my number.
But you don't get pulled in, bro.
Yeah.
Don't get pulled in.
I get pulled in. I got pulled in.
Get pulled in.
I
Oh,
said,
fine.
and this is before the boyfriend showed up. So I was like, listen, you want to do comedy? The next show we do, reach out to me. And I'm giving her this paper with our information, like our website and everything.
Shaking like that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, here.
I love you. I love you. I like you.
I'm sorry for the sweat.
It's running.
It's a little sweaty. I'm sorry.
And she's. I was like, we'll have you on the next show. She's like, should I send a video? I'm like, no.
Yes.
Yes.
What is you? Oh, you're totally
What?
different than me. I'm taking anything she's showing me.
I think you should start bringing Chick as your like manager.
Manager.
Like let me yeah. He'll be
I
like, do we
wanted
send
to
a photo?
push
Yes.
Yes. Send
Yeah,
me
of
a
course, send me
headshot.
a
Send me
resume,
videos.
video.
Send me nudes.
I mean,
Oh, wait, sorry.
It always-
Sorry.
it-
And then
it
bikini
always
shots.
goes off with him.
No, it doesn't. I would. I wouldn't say that to her.
Chick would
Right.
get you Me Too'd in like a minute and a half.
If Chick was there, we wouldn't have even made it to Rocky McBride's. We really
fucking
it would
Vito,
have
Let's go
like
home,
Vito
bro.
Weinstein over here. Vito Weinstein.
Oh man. But I told her I was like, we'll put you on the next show. Don't worry about it. We'll give you
Did
your
you
Give her
get
a
any
shot.
of her information?
No,
Not even a Snapchat or nothing.
she wasn't
Giving
offering.
it out.
IG.
She wasn't offering.
Because we should get her on the show. I want to hear about why she had reached out to 5 guys with a boyfriend.
Well,
That's a great move. Well, you guys saw that thing that happened a while ago. We talked about.
What's that?
Like a year ago.
Yeah, when they all went to that place.
They all went to meet up with this.
Yeah,
one
it was
chick
like
that
thousands
was
of
in, like,
people.
Washington Square Park.
Yeah.
oh yeah.
Oh yeah, I heard about that.
That's right.
That's funny.
Was it like a date thing?
It
They
was like
all
a-
got.
They all thought it was a date.
They
It was
all
like
thought
1,000
it
dudes.
Was it
thought
like was that
date.
like an art project and some weird
Yeah,
like
she was trying
You
to
see
like,
that movie?
prove a point or something.
What?
that what was it with like Paul Rudd and Rachel Weisz and like he's like a nerd. The Shape of Things. He's
yeah.
and then at the
I don't
end
think I've seen
and
it.
like
I've seen,
totally
like,
turned
parts
into a
of it.
huge dick.
Yeah.
At the end of the she's like it was all like a performance art project. And I'm like, oh
Oh.
yeah.
Oh God, no! I've
genius.
never seen that.
I didn't
Yes.
see that. I like that.
But you know,
Oh yeah, Shape of Things. Go for it.
All right.
I'm seriously see that
Alright.
movie. It's pretty dope. Yeah.
Cool.
what I want to know is you did
You
have
saw
your
it.
comedy thing. Did anybody have a good 4th of July? Or interesting 4th of July? Anything? Did anybody do anything?
I had a real low key 4th of July.
Yeah, me too. I had
What
like
about you?
a rough
Very,
fun fourth.
very low key
All right,
4th of July.
I didn't have what you'd say a like crazy 4th of July.
There's
but
the preface.
I went to my buddy's house,
Uh-huh.
and him and his family do this thing called the Independence Cup, and they do like all these events. They do all these events, and like they give out like somebody in the family wins every year,
Okay.
and they give out awards. It's just fun.
What
It's
kind of events are we talking?
like home run hitting,
Okay.
free
Home run
throws.
hitting.
Can jam.
Yeah, it's just, but it's they have people from ages like 7 to like 65.
Chicks
70.
just over there, just.
Well, we went to
crushing
watch
them.
because they're an intense family, and I wasn't allowed to play. 'cause
Drinking
I'm not
White
family.
Claws and
Yeah.
crushing.
Oh, it's family
It's
only.
only family,
All
so
right.
it's only his family that's able to participate. So we went to watch. You know, it's
Do you
4th
go
of
over there?
July.
Come on, I'm nearly family.
No. I haven't. I can't say I've never asked,
Yeah,
but I know I'm not getting in.
Okay.
But I went over there to watch. It's a barbecue, you know. But for them, you know, excuse for the family to get together, great time. So there's a whole day, a lot of kids around, and it was just a fun day. As the sun comes down, one of our other friends of ours brought a firework. He had one leftover
Just
firework.
one lonely firework.
One firework left over from a party that he's had, and he hasn't lit it off. He's like,
That's
whatever,
so
fuck
sad.
it, I'll bring it. The kid all day like couldn't wait for it, and it was like one of those like it just shoots up and it's like a green dot.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't even know what they're called, but it's nothing. It's like a 12 shooter.
It's a bullshit firework.
Yeah, it's nothing. And my buddy's telling him like, listen, it's not what you think, but the kids are kids and they really wanted to see it. So when it's finally night out, we decide to walk around the block because they live. The other side of them is a church, but it has like a parking lot, an empty parking lot, and a jungle gym and stuff. So we go over there. We light this firework off. Last 5 seconds, kids clapping, yada yada. I step on it. All I did was step on it.
What do you mean you step on it?
Well, the firework was done after it went out.
Oh, okay.
And I'm stepping on it just, try and put it out a little.
Yeah.
So I step on it. I was gonna just leave it in the parking lot. Zero desire to do anything with this. The kids start yelling at me because they were looking at us from the house. You can step over the fence and you can see us. And they're like, "Don't litter! Litter, Bob!" You're talking about all these kids saying, you gotta throw that out.
Kids. I hate kids. I hate
Yelling
them.
at me to throw it out. So I'm like, fuck, I'll throw it out. So now I pick it up, and there's a dumpster right in the parking lot
Yeah.
to the right. I should have dumped water on this firework. I didn't have any water.
But you stepped on it.
What time is this about? Keep
It's
going.
It's
Keep
around
telling the
11-ish. So I wind up throwing the firework,
The one firework.
one
One
firework,
firework.
into a dumpster.
Uh-huh.
Solid.
We walk back to the house because we have to go around the block.
Yeah.
So now we're hanging out in the backyard. About 20 minutes go by, and I'm smoking a joint. And my buddy looks at me, and then he looks straight ahead, and you can see the parking lot where we just were, and the dumpster is engulfed in flames. I'm talking about like not a fire in a dumpster, but the whole dumpster is cooking.
It's a complete dumpster
A
fire.
complete dumpster fire, and we're like,
Literal.
oh my God. My other buddy's like, no, that wasn't us, because only 2 of us walked over. He goes, that had to be somebody else. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm like,
Who?
unless somebody, well, here's the thing, it could have happened. So it's not guaranteed that it was us.
I don't see how.
Highly likely.
I get it, but
The ambers in those fireworks, as long
They
as they're
stay
still
lit.
hot, yeah, they're still
Yeah,
hot. So
they
even
stay
though I
hot.
stepped on
but
it,
if you step on it,
there might have been some ambers that lit. Who knows what was in that dumpster?
okay.
Or a firework could have went off and an amber could have came down and lit something,
Yeah.
which was probably unlikely, but possible.
You throw a whole
You mean
bunch.
Ember, right?
Ember, what'd I say?
Amber.
Amber.
Like
yeah.
my ex-girlfriend.
An amber.
Yeah.
I'm an idiot.
Like a porn star.
Yeah.
Amber.
There was an amber in
It was
there.
an Amber.
Well, yes, an ember, and the thing is on fire. So we're like, fuck, like we should call the fire department.
Yeah.
So when my buddy's wife goes in there, calls the fire department. Now we're all just sitting there watching this, laughing hysterical. But like we know we think it's because of us. But now
I'm pretty sure my flip flop took it out, but I can't be
I
sure.
can't be sure.
You know, I think
Fire.
I just remember what I did
Oh, on the 4th
on
of
the
July.
4th of July. It was low key. I took myself on a date to see Spider-Man.
Did you like it? I heard it was good.
It was dope. It was so fun. I
The
want
new
to
Spider-Man's
for
awesome.
you. It was really cool. Mixed picks.
Yeah.
we'll do.
I haven't seen
You
that
gotta
yet.
see it. It's
I
pretty
will.
cool.
I will
It's
definitely
there's a
go
cool
see
like
it.
little. It's a cool good feel good movie after everybody died in the last
Yeah.
one. But anyway, I was coming down Conklin, so I came out of the. I
Yes, okay.
came down Conklin.
If you came down Conklin, you would
I'm
have seen it.
pretty sure I saw some movement.
Yes.
You've seen
I
it.
saw, I,
That
I
was
saw,
us.
But like the thing was, I didn't really think much about it. I was probably like, oh look, the fire department's out on.
The whole time I'm
Yeah.
nervous. Like I hope they don't got cameras. They're gonna know it's
Yeah.
me. It's
Yeah.
gonna
I was
be
like,
my
hope
day.
They don't got
The 4th of
cameras.
July, I was like, oh yeah, Farmingdale Fire Department's out.
Yeah.
Why am I not surprised?
Yeah.
They're probably.
First, the cops got
Some
there.
teenager probably lit something
Some
on fire.
kid.
That's the yeah. So the cop gets there. Then all of a sudden, like within minutes, the fire department is just booming down the
Yeah.
main street. You know, we're right in the middle, so we hear it and see everything. And they were probably there for a good 40 minutes putting that thing out. And then, because we were there at like 4 a.m, they put a new dumpster in that night. That's the other thing that I thought was
Wow.
That's
like
cool.
ridiculous. They actually took out the burnt dumpster.
Did
and
they
put
call the number on the side of the dumpster? Say,
I have no
"Hi,
idea
who
what
are
it's
you?"
called.
Right, we
But
got
like a
a
dumpster
dumpster. You mean a
company
new
came and
dumpster.
like swapped the dumpsters at
Wow.
like 4 a.m.
I bet you that they have so many of those. You think you're the only one that happened to?
Oh,
no.
Dumpster
I know I'm not
fires
the
all
only one,
over
but I'm
Long
a
Island.
35-year-old man who should know a little better than to put some water on that before I throw it
Yeah,
out.
that's true. I just feel like I still
Where's
feel
the
like
rest of your beer?
like if you put that down, like
You're scaring me that you thought what I did was enough
Yeah,
to put
I
that
don't
out.
know. I thought you
I
were
don't
being
know.
sarcastic.
Yeah, I thought
Not
you were
at
being
all.
sarcastic at first too, and now that I
You
realize you
think
really
Chip
think
stomped it out?
it's
and
not
that-
a match, dude. It's not like I mean
No,
I
it's
stomped
like-
it, but like
But
it
it
was
was
hot in my hand.
a
when I
firework
threw it
that
in.
went off.
But
I
you
don't
know,
It exploded. Yeah.
It exploded. I know, but what
you know that's how most fireworks, most incidents start because people don't water them down and they start fires.
Yeah, I guess so.
You know,
I don't. It just seems that it would have been taken care of. I don't know.
I wish it would have, but it wasn't.
I think this makes for a better story.
But yeah,
all around.
and what's even better now, so now that 2 days later, I have a birthday party. Not my family. Has
Happy
a birthday.
birthday!
No, it's a birthday party for my nephew.
Oh,
Just turned 1. Happy birthday, Nico.
Hey.
Love you.
big listener.
Big listener. He's the
Big
best.
fan.
One of my biggest fans. But we get there and where the person's house I went to, his nephews and nieces were there, or whatever, and they wound up going to Nico's birthday party,
Okay.
and they were the kids that coming in. I think he's like 13 years old and like a 7 and 8 year old or whatever, and they were just making fun of me. You started a fire. Good job, chick.
Oh,
and like every time somebody was doing something, they're like, "Oh, you're gonna start a fire." And they were just making fun of me.
Did
the
you tell
whole
those
day.
little kids to just go?
Oh
fuck
yeah,
themselves?
I always
Like
pull them all
literally,
Yeah.
kids.
But that's what kids do. They fuck with you,
Yeah.
and they fuck with
And
me
then you
a
throw
lot.
them in the
Especially
dumpster.
when you start fires.
Yeah.
Especially when you start a fire.
Yeah,
And
but
they
look-
should have known. And then I blamed. I said, "It's your fault that I started this fire because I was gonna leave it.
You were gonna leave the fire?
I was just
Oh,
gonna
you're gonna
the-
leave it outside.
I was gonna leave the firework on the concrete. Just
Yeah. It would have went out that way.
it would have. Yeah, I was gonna litter until I got yelled at for littering, and now
By
Said
8,
you're an
9
arsonist.
and now I'm an arsonist.
All right. Well, happy
You
birthday,
went from a
America.
litter bug to a fire
To
bug.
a fire.
But it made me think. I've had a couple instances on 4th of July where I've had it. You guys never had anything? There's no stories, either one of you guys?
We did.
With fireworks, you've never had any
I-
close
we
calls
used to have
or
like a big
anything?
bonfire.
You know what?
We
Never
did a
shot off fireworks.
Get out there. Okay. All right. Well, you're a
Really?
smart man. What about you, B? I mean, you never.
I have, but nothing that comes to mind. Like, I had a bunch of fireworks. We used to have a party at my house where I would let other people do it all, though.
But it's not, I'm not even saying necessarily the firework aspect of it, but just like the 4th of July, So another 4th of July, we set off a bunch of bottle rockets out of like the woods. We were in high school, we used to go to the woods, and we would get like cheesy bottle rockets and stuff, and we would set them out. But what we did was we put a pipe in the ground. So it was coming out at like an angle, and the pipe came about neck high. And I'll tell you why this plays a part in a little bit. But we were shooting bottle rockets during the day. As the night progresses, we start smoking, drinking, everybody's getting fucked up. One of my idiot friends decides to lay down on the Bethpage State Parkway Road.
Oh, yeah.
Terrible idea. Cars are passing on the other lane, and he's still laying down like a drunk idiot. So I go and run out to because we're in the woods next to the parkway. I run out to the parkway now, pick my buddy up because a car stopped and the guy got out of the car. We was probably going to either yell at him, it could have been a cop, who knows. I grab him. Now we start running back towards where we were. And in the Farmingdale woods, it's basically dried out river. So it goes down a little bit. So as I'm running down the hill, that's where we put the pipe. I don't see it. And I ran, and it literally jigged me in the neck. I don't know if you see the mark right here, but they used to call me Bacon Neck because it looked like a strip of bacon going down my throat from almost
shit.
almost killing myself running into this. It's much lighter now. I'd have to really
A lot
show
of
you.
skin has
A lot of fat and skin, went over it.
taken over.
But that was my other 4th of July story. So I've had, now I'm an arsonist. I almost killed myself.
We had.
Oh, dude, if it was like an inch to the left, it would have went
Yeah.
right through my trachea. But instead, it got the fat part of my neck to the right and just left me literally looked like a strip of bacon
part
on
of
my
your
neck.
neck.
The whole night, I thought I was gonna die. I was like, "Good seeing what's going on over
I
there."
think
Is
it's
it
my
bleeding?
chugging.
Is it bleeding? But those are my 4th of July stories. I mean, I was kind of hoping you guys had other stuff.
No, I mean,
But now I feel like the only idiot.
No.
No.
I mean, I remember when I was a little kid, my family lived in Brooklyn, Flatbush, and we used to sit. You just sit on the stoop, and
Yeah.
there's some guy like, hey, he's got fireworks, and they, right in the middle of the road, and we were watching this firework. Me and my cousin, my grandmother, who was blind as a bat, and we'd have to walk her over there and
Yeah.
sit her old ass down, and we had chips and stuff,
Yeah.
and so we're watching here, and they have those duplexes
Yeah.
in Brooklyn.
Uh-huh.
We were just watching, and then we hear, "Phew!" and whoever from the next block over the bottle rocket flew and hit right into the chips and set them on
What?
fire. We had to, like, oh, my grandma's like, what's going on? And like we're freaking out, and we move, and she's blind, so like she's not. What's going on? What's going on? We forgot her, and it's like there's like chips on fire.
That's
I mean
insane.
that was.
That's amazing.
And whenever I think of 4th of July, I think of the Sandlot with that great scene when they're running through the town to
remind me
play.
of something. I feel like we did this last 4th of July.
We might have, but what's going to be a tradition?
And I probably will tell the same stuff every year because I remember that you'd
With
say
the Sandlot?
Yeah. So we used to. My family had a cabana. Well, my aunt and uncle had a cabana. It was in Point Lookout. Do you guys know what a cabana is?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, so
You're one
yeah.
of the rich kids in Farmingdale, right? Did
Yes.
we talk about that?
Well,
You
no.
live on the other side of the tracks?
I don't live on the other side. You know, I don't.
Do you live on
You
Yoakum?
do
Where
live, you live in a nice part of Farmingdale.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm not. I don't
We're
get
just
into
breaking
the,
your balls.
jerks.
Come on.
Hey, my family did well. It's not.
First of all, a
it's
cabana
not
is a row of nothing but little sheds basically in Point Lookout
Yeah.
that my aunt and uncle had, and it was one of these things where I think it was like grandfathered down. So you had to be like handed it. So every family would go there. You like every
Now it's yours.
our entire family would go there. So I remember growing up 4th of July that we were at the beach all day. And we would spend the entire day at the beach, and it was great. You know, you saw the Jones Beach fireworks, and we'd have our own beach there. It wasn't crowded, but driving home, you would hit the traffic from the traffic circle
That's so brutal.
at Jones Beach. And I was always my dad always had a temper on him growing up. Like he was
It's just like my father when it comes to traffic.
Very-
Your father?
When it comes to
Old
traffic.
man
God.
McCaffrey, forget it.
Oh.
Jesus Christ.
My dad was quick to get into a road rage fight.
Oh, my dad. He followed somebody once. My pops.
My dad got cornered by 4 truck drivers.
Oh no,
one
it
time.
wasn't that bad. He followed, so my mother's screaming, "Let me out of the car!"
Yeah.
I'm in the backseat, like, "Get him!"
See, I was totally terrified because my dad would go off on
Yeah,
it.
it's scary.
And I'm like, I didn't want my dad to go out and get into a fight. In the
You don't know what's gonna happen.
Yeah. So this traffic would always stress me out. Just like I'm like,
You
there's
don't know
horns
what your
honking.
dad's gonna do.
I'm like, I don't know what he's gonna do. So one night, we were probably me and my sister. We were probably I don't know 13. My sister was maybe 9. I don't know. We were young. You would sit in traffic to the point where you would pull over on the Loop Parkway and just wait. You know. So we pulled over the car, and there was these people walking around the Loop Parkway selling. You remember those necklaces
Glow in
that
the
glow in the dark?
Yeah, with like a little.
Yeah.
You get him at the bar mitzvahs?
Yes,
They
exactly.
still have those
They still
everywhere.
have them. So my sister, me and my sister got them. We were young kids, and we're waiting, and we get back on the road, and my dad had a black Volvo, all black seats, and I remember looking over to the left, and my sister opened her mouth, and it was neon pink.
She ate one.
She ate one.
Oh,
She
Were
took it
those
all.
things bad though?
Well, my dad.
Good, right?
My dad pulled over and ran. It was like these people that probably lived in some trailer of, you know, this lady was like, my husband sucks them in all the time. They're non-toxic. And my sister is spitting up like neon pink goo. It was a panic, and they got it.
You should wash your mouth out with water.
That's
Well, that's what I'm
it.
saying. I didn't think they would make those because those were made for kids. I can't imagine those being super.
It was just a very jarring
No, I'm
thing
just saying in
at
general.
night seeing my sister
Stuck
just
in traffic.
spit up neon.
Like
And I
Stranger
thought-
Things.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
really is.
exactly. And then the
New
panic.
season's great.
The panic went from, my God, my sister is throwing up neon to now my dad is gonna ring some guy that sells neon on the side of the.
'Cause he wanted to
parkway.
kill this guy.
Yeah. Because he went to the wife, and the wife was like, "My husband does it all the time. It's fine." And my dad was. I remember him cursing and like running after this guy, and like.
I wish I could see your dad in one of
Yeah,
these
God. It's just it gives
these
me
little
anxiety
temper tantrums
thinking
he
about it.
has.
Yep.
That's
great.
great.
But yeah, that's one of the. See, we spent a lot of those young years at the beach. So I don't have any.
There was another one. My uncle used to. He was a cop, so he used to take fireworks from people, and then
And
for the holidays
and use them, yeah.
we'd set them off occasionally. Now this is when I was really young, but one 4th of July I remember. I don't even know if they were his fireworks at this time or my neighbors, but there's one neighbor everybody on our block hates.
I think we've talked about this neighbor.
Yes, we've definitely I mean, I've gotten into
Can they
fights
hear
with
us?
them.
Are they here?
No, they're 2 houses over. If you can't hear me, fuck you. It's me, my neighbor.
Wait a second.
Not them.
When I got here, I said, "Isn't that all the cars in front of this house?"
Not him though. It's the guy, not my neighbor right next to me
Okay.
here. It's the one over.
Okay.
Good.
Okay.
Everybody on the block
Yeah, fuck that guy.
individually has gotten into a fight.
There's
with
always
this
one
guy.
person on the
One
block.
Old
guy on the
guys,
block.
kids were always nice kids, but they're not really around anymore. The guy's just a miserable old man. But when I was younger, now this is me when I'm talking about, I'm like probably 5 at the oldest. And my neighbors are shooting bottle rockets onto his lawn. And they used to do this all the time, and then he would call the cops, and the cops would come, and it would just be a shit show. But that was another one of my 4th of July stories, when they just used to fire bottle rockets
Can
at my
I
neighbor's
bring
front
up
lawn.
another one that
Yeah, sure.
you just
I
jogged my
love the
memory?
4th of July, man.
America. America. The dumpster fire that it is.
Get out of here. None of that talk.
You don't need
on
his
this
people
show.
you lost.
Yeah,
That's
I
it.
know. The dumpster fire that it is. I remember.
B. There's none of that on my show.
I know. We love
I'm
America.
out.
We love America.
We love
over
America on this show.
It's all right. It's okay. It's not great.
It's the greatest country in the world. Hands down.
It's sort of. It's like the Arby's.
We're not
of
perfect. We're not perfect, but it's the best country
Okay.
in the world.
Yeah, well.
What do they say about aliens? Like aliens, like America's like the Tijuana.
That's the Tijuana of-
the
yeah.
world. Like, let's go see the monkeys, man.
I remember my first house. The first house I grew up in. It was still in Farmingdale, different area, and there was this old man that lived across the street, and it was the same guy. He was sort of like an angry guy in the neighborhood nobody really liked, and we were young. I was probably like 5 at this point, and he started shooting fireworks off, and my dad went across the street and yelled at him. This old man. He was probably.
My dad yelled at him.
He was probably in his 60s, 70s, something like
And
this.
at the time, my dad was in
And
his
my
30s.
my dad was in his 30s, and the guy. All I remember was the guy going, "It's the 4th of July," and the next thing I realized, my dad was wrestling this guy, like on the front lawn.
What are with our parents?
That's
And what is with our parents?
I know. It was a completely different time. My dad was in a wrestling match, like a cartoon where they were tumbling.
Dude, that's how me and him, when we were starting the show, it wasn't my father and his father, but it was
your
my
father and somebody else's
and
father.
another
Your
father
father got into a
at football practice. I don't even remember what it was at, but then they sent us all on a run, on a lap. So the whole team, it was me, Jimmy, and Mike.
Yeah.
We're all running together, like two of the 2 kids whose parents are fighting, sitting there
Running.
like, I don't know what they're doing.
It's
And
just-
our dads were just at each other's
You
throats.
can't believe that. Like, and like, I'm 40 now,
insane.
and I'm like,
Yeah.
and you think about your parents, and they're supposed to be adults. You know, capital A, adults.
Passion.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable.
My
like,
son
the
ran
fights
for
that-
2,000 yards last year.
My father, I watched
say?
my dad played tournament softball.
Like,
Yeah.
like over the hills at the time,
And
or
not
not
over the
even
hill.
at the time?
My father always
Over
got
the hill
my
gang?
father always got in a fight with somebody at over the hill gang, but he was on another team. And did anybody go to Woodard Parkway?
I didn't go to Woodward. I'm in Albany Avenue.
You're in
They
Albany
squared.
Yeah.
I'm a north side.
All right, I'm
North
so
side.
there was teach, and he was on this team, and it was a bunch of adults, and they play on a Sunday. You know, obviously you get out, you have like the cool in the back.
Yeah.
They'll tie one out like noon, and they go play ball. And my mom, and there was a fight at a game, and I was and it was my dad, and my uncle, and like I was there, and I saw my dad and my uncle get into this like thing, and I run in. And
Like
the
you're
story,
gonna do
but the
something
story
to
goes,
you,
I must
10
have been
years
like 12.
old.
I was 12, and I pushed this guy, and I said, I'll never forget this because he made fun of forever. I was like, "Don't you touch my daddy!" And then I felt the scruff of my neck, and my uncle pulled me and threw me the fuck out of there. But
Get out of here, bro.
the story was because my old man played first base.
Yeah.
And he like had a big mouth, and he talked,
I don't
and he was
know
like, "That's a
anybody
bad
like that."
call, you know what you're talking about." And the one guy's like, "Fuck you,
Yeah,
blah blah
that's
blah."
how it happens.
Oh, and everybody
That's
comes
how it
in, and
happens.
I was like, "That's my daddy."
Yeah.
And I went to go, and I pushed this guy. My uncle just took me and said, "Get the fuck out of here.
That's
But
great.
like the funny thing is that then everybody's all, the game is over, they clear them, they all back to the car. They had like the Coronas in the back, and
Yeah.
the Bud Heavies,
Yep.
and then one of the guys on the team goes, "Don't you touch my daddy." That's right, kid. So that's what I was known for
Oh,
for a
that's
long
Hey,
time.
yeah, you're protecting your pops.
It's great.
Oh my
yeah,
God.
My dad got kicked out of my football championship one year too. Him and my brother. My brother was an assistant coach, Rich,
Oh yeah.
and my dad was the head coach. And my dad got kicked out of the game for cursing. He to this day swears he didn't curse. He cursed. I heard him.
Of course he did.
And then my brother, because he got kicked out, threw the clipboard at the ref, threw a pen at him, and then he got fucking kicked out.
Nice.
And then my uncle, who was at the game, was in the bleachers and was trying to come down. That's what happens with the Italians.
Yeah.
You start with one, you
Oh
start
my
with that's
God.
all.
It's
Oh
just
He never
too-
made it quite down to the field.
It's too funny.
So my dad had to watch our championship game from like the other end of the field, like outside of the actual
Unbelievable.
thing. But that's what I get it
That
from.
was a lot.
My dads were so like
intense.
they were like
They
they had
were
a tense
intense.
jobs and they went home. And
Yeah,
the kids
that's
were,
what it was.
And they want to make sure their kids didn't like what did it say? The kids are like you just follow them and make sure they don't freaking kill themselves
Yeah.
for the first like 10 years.
I can
of their
honestly
life.
say that's so true too. Because once my dad retired, I mean, he I can't even tell you.
Oh,
He's like
yeah.
a different
My
person
dad
mellowed.
now
My
than
dad
he was when
mellowed
he
out.
was like in the mix of his job.
Yeah.
So, but those are he was he was nuts.
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
my dad used to scare me so bad, so many times. It was just like,
And my poor mother.
yeah.
Well, that's
oh,
it.
God.
That's
You know,
the
and your
thing,
mom would be
too.
like, "Oh, here we go again."
Yeah,
And, like,
exactly.
what?
And it's
they're
always
the
the
ones
mother,
that are yelling
she
at
never
them.
shows up. That's why she never. We were like, "Why don't you come down to the park?"
Oh, no,
my mom's
would
like,
always
"No,
go.
thanks."
No, my mom
Park
always
pass
went.
on
She was
that.
at every event.
In the
She
middle
was
of
great.
all these stories of my dad going off on people was my mom in the background going, Tom! I was like, oh God.
Dad's got a great name too.
Oh my
Yeah.
God, it's just so funny. My mom ain't gonna Bob. Oh God, Bob.
My
God,
mom,
Bob.
she would just call him Hun. Pull over, Hun. Let me out of the car when he was
Yeah.
following somebody
Oh,
once.
God.
But I love it, man. My dad grew up in Red Hook, though. It was a much
Yeah.
different time. He grew up always getting into fights. So he's just
I think that's what I think they just grew up in a different
Yeah, like, we
generation.
grew up in a
You
much-
took care of things
Yeah.
right then.
Yeah,
Oh, so you want to
exactly.
take care of this? Let's
were ready
do
to
that
throw
My
right
dad
now.
don't care who you are, how big you are, nothing. He's gonna say what he's gotta say,
Yeah.
and where the chips may fall.
And that generation is slowly going into a where they're now relaxed.
Yeah.
And now it's just us.
Half off at the movie theater.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Oh, I love it. Now, yeah, but I always said it once he retired too. It was just he's a totally different
Less stress
person.
too.
Yeah, that's what it really comes
He
down
probably
to.
is only stressed.
And I was the
Yeah.
worst part for him.
Yeah, yours
To
only
this day.
stress.
But I don't know. I got some picks. If you guys, we have time for some
Oh my
picks.
God.
Yeah, yeah.
And I got
I've been waiting all week.
I got some interesting picks because B always makes fun of that I pick things that everybody knows about.
He looks at the
That's what he
first
said
thing
last
on
week.
Netflix.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know about
I don't
that.
agree with that either, but you know what? Just to shut them up this week, I picked 4 documentaries that I watched on Netflix.
Wait, 4?
For
They're
documentaries.
quick things.
Yeah,
4
we're only going to
documentaries.
allow you to
Well, it's
do
a lot of
3.
documentaries.
But they were
Eliminate one chick.
You have no idea. And yeah, so I'm gonna say it. Nobody's probably watched these, but they're interesting. They're like science related. One of them is called "Building Chernobyl's Megatomb."
Ooh.
It's on Netflix, and it's just how they built the new structure that goes over the old shitty one that they tried
Oh,
to cover up everything
okay.
with. But it's insane. They had to build it like 300 yards away from it, and then move. It was the biggest structure ever moved, ever, on like in the world. Whatever, I don't know. I worded
Did they
it wrong.
Did they build it and then like
And
fly
then
it over and
they
like,
didn't
put
fly
it on
it. They built it, and
You
then
think
they
he
kind
would
of
watch a documentary and
I
get
said they didn't
some
fly it.
info from it,
They
right?
built it and they slid it like it was like on a track.
Oh.
And they
Oh,
slid it
that's
over.
kinda
It
cool.
was
Oh,
it was
all
sick.
right.
Yeah.
And this thing's supposed to last for I don't know 100 years or some shit like that.
Yeah.
But now while they're over it, the idea is to get everything that's under there and get it out of there and put it somewhere.
Oh, okay.
But they don't know what they're gonna put it yet.
So they want to get it out,
they
and
want
put
to
it somewhere.
Well,
Why
they
wouldn't
wanted-
you just keep it
Because
covered?
because the covering was only going to last for X amount of time, and there's still, God forbid, anything ever happens to that. There's like a shit that's going to make that
Oh, it could
situation a
just
lot
be-
worse.
everything is just worse.
So the whole idea
Yeah.
is they're going to cover it, and then now they have to figure out there's like a lot of stuff going into it. They don't know what they're going to do with it
They're
yet.
gonna throw it in the ocean.
But they want to
Yeah.
figure. What I want to know
Throw it
is
in
why
the
don't they
ocean.
just put it in a spaceship and send it to outer space and just be done with it?
Well, because you have to handle it first.
Yeah, it's probably easier.
And then
said
all
than
those
done.
people have to die.
I don't know, chick. Why don't they do that?
Did you watch the Chernobyl?
I got an
No, I
idea.
Did
did.
you watch them?
I got an idea.
These people got to do it anyway.
Did they?
It's probably pretty.
I don't care about it, right? If it was still the Soviet Union, they're like, yeah, just do it. Now that's not the way it
Remember
works.
when you
that's
threw
the
that
thing.
firework in the
If it was
dumpster?
yeah, yes, not bad.
Not bad. I will do that. Yeah.
So that's that. That's on Netflix. The other one, this is a good one. You guys are gonna make fun of me on this. It's The Day the Dinosaurs Died.
Oh yeah.
Oh boy.
And
It's a land before time.
it's also on Netflix. This was actually really interesting too, but it basically just shows how the last of the dinosaurs vanished. And
It's a documentary. Our
it's
dad's
just a lot
fighting.
about where the actual asteroid hit and how it actually killed it, because it wasn't like they all died in one day. So it really went into detail of the asteroid
Oh, that's
hitting
cool.
and all the encompassing effects of it. Like, just it was catastrophic
Fucked
and
up the
crazy.
planet for a while, right?
Was it
Good
Jeff?
question.
Was it Jeff Goldblum?
No, it's not Jeff
Maybe
Goldblum.
somebody
It should have
and-
should have been
and-
Jeff Goldblum.
Oh, the dinosaurs. Yes, the dinosaurs. Yeah.
I wish it was Jeff
they,
Goldblum.
The came down and yes.
See, now we're getting your acting skills.
Yeah, now we're getting them exactly. The
Now we're getting them exactly.
Those were very good.
those are all very good. The next thing was super interesting. This was my favorite one out of the four of these. Was Black Hole Apocalypse.
Okay.
Okay.
Sounds like a porno.
Yeah.
It is another documentary on Netflix. These are all Nova PBS documentaries,
Okay.
just so
Right.
you know what to expect. But they're good. And this one's just basically all about the study of black holes and how they form, you know, what they actually are. Dude, it's sick. I don't have
Sick.
sick.
That's it?
Is it about like a black hole forming next to the Earth?
Well, basically the Earth
No,
centers
what-
around
No,
a
no,
black
no.
hole.
We got it all, dude.
But
It's
if
sick.
you
The
go
middle-
in the black, if the
He
black hole
liked it.
sucked
It's
us
PBS.
It's not sucking us in. Every galaxy and like whatever we are, universe, well, not universe, every galaxy
This
is
segment is a black
surrounds
hole.
a black hole. Basically, is what this thing
Yeah.
told me.
Yeah.
So the black holes all over the place, and our universe centers around one. But it's just how they you know, all about how they fucking form and what they do. It's sick.
But does it have to do with us dying because?
No,
of
we're
the
not going to
Yeah,
die.
what
because we're not
Where's,
dying
where's
because of
the
a black hole.
apocalypse part?
Yeah, what's the apocalypse? That's what I
Well,
wanna
because
know.
anything, the black holes, like you
Just
said,
staring
they
at
suck.
yourself.
I'm just not.
You're
I was
just like-
erasing it. They suck everything into it, but it's not about us. Like everything has a lifeline. We don't know. It's not anytime
No,
soon.
yeah, but like.
Yeah, we'll be gone.
So I mean, it does explain what
it
would
does
happen
explain what would
if
happen,
we
right,
got But
I'm
if
wondering
that's-
where the apocalypse
No,
comes
no,
in
that's
the
no
name.
time.
What would happen?
we would die.
It would suck.
It would be
it would
awful.
not be sick.
It would not. Everything
Yeah.
turns into nothing. Goes in the black hole, and it's just
What
nothing.
happens? Nothing.
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 Nothing. What happens?
We're all nothing.
Maybe something does happen. We don't know.
Well, they actually showed if a person got sucked into a black hole, they
Oh,
would.
they don't fucking know.
They would again. They did. They said you would extend, like you would stretch to like a
That
noodle.
might do you some good.
But would it hurt?
Yeah, it would hurt. You would basically die, and you would turn into all your original like
Parts.
particles.
Okay, so we would like.
You would like disintegrate pretty much. Yeah,
Okay.
but they would, it shows you how you would like stretch, and then things would just fall apart.
You just come. You
Now, do they
turn
have
into a
actual
bowl of
footage of this
pasta.
happening?
They actually show
Hey!
they show
Hey!
somebody like a fake thing, but yeah, they kind of show something.
Yeah, they had they tested this.
This one, the cool thing is decoding the weather machine.
Decoding the weather machine.
And this is another one on Netflix, and it's just why and how our climate is changing. It's like really super detailed. It was like one strange rock boiled down into one episode, and
Oh, okay.
specifically about the atmosphere and the climate and how we're kind of escalating an issue, you know. But it's interesting. It's really about how we're fucking up the planet. But we're not too late. We can fix it. Those are my 4 documentaries.
I have to
Another
tell you
12
that I do recycle often.
I try to, but
He
I'm
tries.
Did you know that they stopped? This is one thing. Like living in the suburbs.
They stopped.
Stop glass.
The glass.
Stop glass.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but I
how
was like,
stupid is
what?
that?
That was in the last month, right?
Yeah,
What are we
it's
gonna do
very
with all
recent.
these?
I know.
That's the problem. What are you
Garbage
supposed
just
to
got a
do?
lot more
Can you
heavy.
still take that and get like the 5 cents?
You
for it?
can, yeah.
Is it 10 cents now? What's it like?
I think.
Yeah,
negligible.
5 cents.
but my dad loves returning bottles.
Oh, does
Your
he?
dad's a
He
G.
takes mine. He takes my brother's. He takes
A
everybody.
lot of sun kiss going
A
on.
lot of bottles. His is more of a principle thing. Why should they get the 5 cents? Like the company.
My thing on that is
It
it's
really is. It's an old school Italian thing. It's just.
Why should you get that?
Why
It's
should
a
you
principle.
for it?
Yeah.
That's my
It's
5
like you're
cents.
throwing away. Yeah, basically I pay for it. While it's 5 cents, but it all adds up.
it does.
How many fucking bottles
man has
do you
a
need to
point.
collect though to get?
listen, that's our view of
Oh,
things.
hey, yeah.
You know what?
Listen,
Look where I am
people
and
who
look
do
where
it,
he
too.
is.
I know.
Yo, man.
Yeah, maybe you should start.
Maybe I
collecting
should start
bottles.
saving bottles.
My thing with the collecting bottles, though, is it's so much more trouble than it's worth.
That's the problem.
It's
They
like-
don't look at it as trouble. It's just it is what it is. They're not lazy like us.
People make they're living off of that. You
Yeah.
you live in the city. I mean, I see it out here.
People
but, like,
walk around with shopping carts
see
full
two like
of
two
bottles.
women. Like I saw like this little
Some guy
Asian
with a
lady.
minivan doing it.
Yeah.
Packed his minivan with packed.
Listen,
bottles
but
again.
that's
Like
that's
$3
that's
for
where
them.
we are in the world. That people
But
do that.
here's the thing, like, yeah, you're saying that, but then there's people like us who throw that away, and then we wonder why some people who do very little can make what they, you know what I mean?
I have no
It's just-
problem.
Oh, if they're making it-
Yeah, I don't make fun of people.
You know,
for that.
people
It's
get
not
out of
something
my
I would
that's
do.
like garbage.
I'm a lazy asshole,
Better
so
for
I
me.
won't do it.
I love when they go
Yeah,
through.
please
Take it.
take it.
I
I'm
just
not
think
fucking-
that it's more trouble than it's worth. It's like
for me at least. I don't
You
have
could-
enough bottles.
Oh, I hear
drink
you.
If you're
near enough Corona.
no.
if you're willing to go around to people's trash bins and take that shit.
Well, yeah, those are the ones who are not
Three
doing
full
that.
bottles is
Yeah.
3 full garbage cans is probably about. It's still under $5. I would
Probably
imagine,
$5
right?
or
Yeah.
$10.
$10 would be a
Now
lot.
it's
I say
$10 would be
$10.
crazy.
Five
That's like
cents each.
that's 2 coffees at Starbucks.
Yeah, all right.
Think about that.
But that's also
But that's
the
a whole
gas you
night's
change. You went to get there.
We're not
the
talking
time.
about it, people. I'm just talking about from like our house and his. He doesn't go around.
I understand that,
bottles.
but still going to the place, you know.
But that's like part of their, you know, he's
It's
retired
their-
now.
yeah.
Too.
They
Look
like
things
to
to
go
do.
out.
Yeah,
Yeah, my
Listen,
parents always
God
had
bless
that.
them.
yeah.
God bless them. That's you know, that's when I see that I'm like I'm blessed. You're gonna those people have to live that way.
Oh,
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
survive
mate.
any way you can.
Exactly.
Compassion.
Me and
That's-
you live with our
that's
parents.
what's-
We should be saving bottles.
Man, we should be. I'm doing all right.
But
I
I,
love
don't
it.
know. I mean, I don't really have much else this
I
this
like
week. You
those
guys?
picks. I like that.
I did
I
enjoy
don't get
your
enough credit
your
on my
picks.
picks.
Good
I'm gonna check those out
Oh, you
because
get
I'd watch
enough
that.
credit
I do, not from you two.
because it's not
Yeah, well,
great,
for
but
some-
it's you know it's.
No, you guys make fun because I'm not good at reviewing.
Because
But the
sometimes I
picks
feel like you
itself
just take
aren't
the
that
It was
bad.
what was
the
it
top
last
3
week?
picks on Netflix.
It was good.
It was.
I liked it.
Well, that's what.
It was-
so
but that's the
you
thing.
just said I'm not good at reviewing,
I'm
but,
not good at reviewing them.
but he
for
wants
me,
a segment that he reviews stuff. It's like what are you
It's
playing
not
your
reviewing.
strengths?
When I used to review it and tell everybody about the actual
this one,
thing,
really.
you guys got mad for saying too much, and everybody told me that you're just telling people to go see it.
Yeah.
So now it's good. Go see it.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is my
Yeah,
pick.
no, that's
brief,
cool with that.
brief synopsis,
Right.
and go watch it.
Okay.
All right. Good. Well, keep
I like
that
those.
all
Are they in
mind.
the, are they in the notes? Do you put them in the
No,
we
podcast
should.
notes?
We
Gotta
don't.
put them in the podcast.
I should
notes.
do that.
Yeah.
I wanted to read 2 books that I was listening to one of the podcasts and I was like they mentioned the 2 books and then I had to go back through the podcast
And listen to it.
and listen to and find out those 2 books.
I'll recommend a book, Educated by Tara Westover. Read that
Okay.
book. That's a great book.
Educated.
Educated.
What is this gist?
She is from the Mormon culture.
Oh.
Her dad was
Mormon culture doesn't interest me that much.
well.
Personally, I'm not saying to nobody else. I'm just-
She sort of was homeschooled. Her dad was against any organized schooling. I'm not gonna
Mormons
be.
are so weird because they're like a crazy
Sick
cult that
review.
doesn't get credit for being a crazy
Well, I
cult.
wasn't. I didn't write anything about
They
it.
slip away from
Read
it.
it
slip
3 months
away.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yep.
all that money.
What are you reading right now? You reading something?
No, the last thing I read was the Goggins book.
That's a great book.
Oh, you
It's
read it?
actually
He read that one chapter.
Yeah, I read that whole book.
He
What are you
read
reading?
chapter
Are you
one.
reading something?
Listening on Audible to A Truth Worth Telling
Okay.
by last name's Riley, I think. He's a 60 Minutes reporter.
Okay.
Really cool. He actually was one of the few reporters at Ground Zero on 9/11. Does like a full 5 chapters on it. Really,
Okay.
Interesting.
really crazy.
Well, that's like, you
How
know,
he
the
breaks it
9/11 thing too. That show, The Loudest Voice with Russell Crowe is on
Oh, I didn't know
Showtime.
that.
It's about Roger Ayers starting Fox
Yeah,
News.
Roger Ailes. I want to see that.
It
Oh,
is
I'd watch
excellent,
that.
and the last episode was all about 9/11.
Oh, it's on right now?
Yeah,
Oh,
second
I think it was
episode.
on?
Yeah, it's really good. It's on
It's-
Showtime.
Oh,
Is it
I'll
on
watch
Showtime?
that. That should have been a pick.
That was one of my picks already. I did that a few weeks ago.
Come on, you
Yes,
don't
I
remember
know
his
that.
I'm
picks?
sorry, I don't remember.
It was The Loudest Voice, Showtime, with Russell Crowe. It's about Roger Ayers and him leaving MSNBC and going to start Fox
Oh,
News.
okay. That
And
sounds
it's
cool.
really interesting. He's a complete scumbag. At least they make him out to be with the whole 9/11 thing, like putting through the like. I can't really say a scumbag, but he basically had a lot to do with that administration and
No, it's
pushing the agenda forward.
Of course, of
Yeah.
course,
Yeah.
of course.
But they show the 9/11 shit as it was going down, which
Is
is
it the
pretty
Me
cool.
Too stuff and everything? Him getting like kind of.
I'm not up to it yet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I know
that
Yeah,
happens.
I know.
It
Yeah,
happens
he
IRL.
Exactly. Yeah, I know that happened to him. I don't know a ton about him, but I did know about that, and
That
they
whole
should get
network
into
got
it.
Me Too.
Right on.
Everybody in the news is and all
Yeah,
that.
they're
It's,
all-
it's fucking. I was gonna say Bill O'Reilly was one of them too.
Oh,
Right?
oh, have you seen him lately? He has a podcast.
Ooh,
Oh God.
Somebody said yeah, I don't know who I was talking. I was listening to one of the podcasts and they were talking about he has his own like.
Whoa! You listen to other podcasts?
Hey, man, it's only an hour.
Come
I
on,
got
man.
like hours.
Well,
and
you
hours.
listen to it multiple
I'm on the.
Yeah,
Like
get
I ride
reviews
my
on
bike
it.
a lot.
Have you reviewed us yet on iTunes?
Am I supposed to?
Yes.
You
Yeah.
text people too.
Okay.
You don't
fine, I'll
have
do
to,
it.
but
You're
it
gonna
wouldn't
have to do
hurt.
it tonight.
I tell other people
Wait till
about
you get
it.
off
Yeah,
your
do
bike.
that. We like
I
that.
tell everybody about it.
Everybody,
yeah,
review
people-
us on iTunes. Come on.
I will review
A
on
little
iTunes.
review.
Please do.
Okay.
Leave us a good review.
I'm not really gonna leave you a shitty review.
Well, we don't know.
I want an authentic review. How about that? I don't want to tell you.
No, I like it. I don't like it when look. Getting back to what we were talking. Wait, no. Train of thought, Rob.
What?
Couple.
You do your thing. Like when people want to tell you about your
Oh yeah,
what
that
you're
was
doing.
one of the first advice I ever got was
do
never take
your-
anybody's advice. Do
Like,
what you want.
do what you want to do. It feels good. If somebody gives you advice and they're like, "Oh, I never thought of that,"
Well, listen
you
to
can
it.
you can listen to it.
Yeah.
But like what does swear engine
But don't live
say?
on
An opinion solicited is not does not equal
Was it
one
an opinion
freely.
unsolicited?
Yeah, one freely given.
Yeah.
You know, like you have something going on here, and you have like a I see you have some sort of
Method to the
relationship,
madness.
and everybody has their part in what they do, and you just got to keep doing it. Same thing with your comedy. You know, like just do it. This is a wonderful thing. You know what I mean? You have a banter. You know what I mean? You're the mediator. It seems like guys, and it works. You know, as far as like things like how you say your names at the beginning, but you know what it is though? It's funny because I was like, why would you? And nothing that's like Mr. McLaughlin, but why would you change that? Like it has a flow to it, ba 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 da ba. And you want to hear that because you know why? In my opinion,
It's us.
It's us, and it's comforting,
All right.
and that's what I feel like because who.
Well,
I don't
that's-
know who listens to this, but I know it sounds
Who
like
is
guys.
listening?
No, you got people
sounds
listening
like
to us.
it sounds
The
like
biggest-
people you know.
The
Yeah.
biggest thing we get is that it's we're very I don't want down to earth or natural. Like we don't try, and that's really it is what it is.
I don't like. I've listened to a lot of podcasts in my time, and the ones that I really like are the ones that are just free flow.
Mhm.
Stream of consciousness. Not ones
Yeah.
that have like you have the ones where they have the minutes, like
Right.
like
Yeah,
All right, now this is gonna happen.
exactly,
So now
and
this is
it,
gonna
and it,
happen.
and it
We don't
doesn't,
need-
and it breaks it up.
I don't enjoy that myself. I listen
No.
to a lot, and it really.
It also
Okay,
turns you
come
off
on.
for something that could be funny that you're going on to, and now we can't do that. We're on a strict
Or
timeline.
strict, yeah.
Yeah, we've
But,
been
like,
through
when
that
it's too
in
quick
this
to
move
podcast,
it
haven't we,
along.
Chick? Remember the
Yes.
early days?
When we tried to do
We tried to do news stories.
we did news articles, and some articles were funnier than others, and you would like breeze through them. But like on a long article, you'd beat it to death,
Mm-hmm.
and then there was still more that we wanted to touch on, and like we'd either bring it on too long. Like it's a lot easier when it's free flowing and the conversation takes it where it is. When you start incorporating things like that, it does.
And it's kind of cool, and I feel like every podcast says this. It's kind of cool to just sit and talk and see where conversation leads you.
Because people don't do it enough.
Because
That is good.
Yeah.
Everybody's got their hands in the
I do
in the edge
enjoy.
of the
Yeah,
phone.
yeah. I do enjoy we're able to sit with Rob for an hour. Like,
Right.
when else do we get to do that? You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
With anybody.
Or
Even
with
if you
each
go
other.
out with somebody, everybody's on their phone.
that's the thing.
Yeah.
Even if
Yeah,
you're
and-
out,
People don't
grabbing a
converse
drink or
enough
something like
anymore.
that,
Yeah,
you're,
let's
you're
get
not
rid of
really
your phone.
that.
Wow.
We get rid of your phone.
Yeah,
A better
sure.
conversation.
You're always on your phone.
Yes.
It does feel good. It feels comfortable. It does feel like a
Yeah,
comfortable
it's just
thing.
nice to
Good.
disconnect.
I'm glad that the last 2 weeks have been fun because we had people that were that do listen to the show, and it's nice to have
And
your
we
point of view
appreciate
on.
you
We
guys
really
listening.
do. We really do.
More than everybody would think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we're gonna try to get more guests.
Yeah. Anybody
That's
what
we're
what
working
the
on
whole
our
goes.
cooking.
The summertime, I think we're definitely gonna.
And we got some people lined up as well,
Yeah.
so they got like he's saying, when you're doing it with just the three of us, sometimes get gets a little
yeah,
blasé.
it's a little-
But it always probably comes off a lot better than it seems like.
Do you think it's blasé?
Not personally.
But
as
that's
much
what I'm
as-
saying. Like,
I do.
You think it's blasé because
Yes.
you just hear each other talking? But like, I don't know. To me, it's like a warm blanket.
I have to
You know what
remember.
I I mean?
yeah.
it
sometimes.
Because
Yeah.
you always come up with something. There's always something. You have the one where you, even when you talked about going to watch birds,
Yes.
like see
Yeah.
hawks. I was like, oh,
Yeah.
you could do that there.
All
That's
over
pretty
the place.
interesting.
Exactly.
And like, you know, the ones where you talked about going, oh my god, I thought it was hilarious when you talked about doing that that comedy like dinner thing, and the people were like, ah,
Yeah.
that was
Yeah.
hilarious
Yeah.
because but you have the stories and
Well,
it,
and that's what I try and tell B sometimes too, is because like it'll feel whatever, but we have our listeners and it's pretty consistent for the most part.
It is consistent.
and they're there every week. So I always tell them like, you'll know when the show's bad when those, when the listeners tell you
You're right.
by not listening.
I just get super critical when I
But we
listen
should be
with-
critical because when you're putting out, that's why
you're
I
putting
kind of
yourself
agree with
out
you.
there, and that's the hardest thing in the world
Yeah.
is to put
But sometimes
your stuff
I feel
out
like
there.
we don't like. I just there's been a couple of episodes where I feel like we sort of just didn't get there, and I think we got there today with you. It was good to. That's why I like having a new voice on because you bring a new dimension.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes you just don't get to that place where you don't get. I don't know. It's just sort of. All right, we did this, we did that, and I love stories. I'm a big storyteller fan in general.
But do you listen to your podcast at all? Do you listen to?
I listened to last week, and I enjoy when I do.
Well,
listen,
he doesn't listen to every. I listen to every episode.
I don't listen to
do.
every
I
episode.
listen to most of them.
Because
I will listen to every.
they do flow. I mean, look, it's not perfect, and
That's what I
you
also
had
think.
a different dynamic before you came along. You know what I mean? And now it's a
Right.
new dynamic, and you're making it work. Like it's all I mean, you're 65 episodes in.
Yeah.
I mean, that's like it's almost I mean, it's the infancy of this.
Oh, and
Yeah,
that's what
you know
we
what I
always say
mean?
too. Is it's
So
still
you have to
very
keep
early.
going with it. You can't judge it too much because you're going to judge yourself out of something that might come out of it
Right.
that's beautiful.
I
Like a
agree.
butterfly.
I agree. You're exactly right. I want more episodes like this, and I don't know. It's just good when
Hey,
we
we're
have
working.
good
But
conversation.
and it's
I
also
love a
like,
good conversation.
Yeah,
It's
that's
all-
what it
I
is.
like the ones with the guy. Who's that big dude you hang out with? Who came the one time? He's a construction worker or something like that.
Terry,
Terry.
Big T.
Oh,
yeah,
Big
the Big T
T.
stories were great.
Yep.
And I just I think it's a warm blanket for people, and I think it's people who understand. These are what guys are like. From Long
And that's what I
Island.
think
And they
we'll-
got other things going on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
We're all basically normal dudes working, and then everybody's got their little side projects
Yeah.
or passions that they're into, and
Mhm.
it's nice. And then I like it too because most of the stuff we talk about is all based in New York for the most part,
Definitely.
and it's out east. It's all over the place, so I think it's a nice little, like you said, comfort for everybody to hear about things that they know about.
Mhm.
To
Yeah.
an extent.
Mhm.
Like most of our listeners are from New York, so
Yeah.
they listen and they know what we're talking
And
about.
one from South
To an
Korea.
extent.
Shout out.
Yeah,
One
Petey
from
boy.
South Korea.
Yeah, one-
Nice.
Yeah.
It's kind of skewed because
We're
he's a
big-
Farmingdale guy
he's from
who's moved to
Farmingdale.
We're
Korea.
big in South Korea.
But
Yeah,
you know
we're
what's
big.
funny? I always
Look at
laugh
that one
at
guy up there.
We have one guy out there,
soon,
but we
brother.
we are worldwide. There's when you go on our
There's a couple other
SoundCloud,
stray.
a couple others.
Yeah.
There's about 100 other countries we've been listening.
Yeah, yeah.
to.
Really?
Maybe one listen. I'll show you when we get out of
I
here.
wanna
I'll
see
show
No,
that.
you.
we're global.
We're global.
We're globally
No, we're
Adult babies are
appreciated.
global.
Yeah.
So, but listen, if you made it this far, I've had a lot of fun today, Rob.
I
It's a
did too.
pleasure
Rob,
Thanks for
you know,
having me.
Hopefully
you-
we'll have you back on, and maybe we'll get your brother to come.
We got Jimmy.
I want the
Jimmy,
McCaffrey
Jimmy's
brothers.
Jimmy's funny.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Jimmy's
Like
great.
Jimmy's funny, and
You and Jimmy are very different. The more I talk to you and I
It's
know him,
amazing.
even though I haven't hung out with your brother as much lately, just from when I did hang out with him a lot when we were younger, but you guys are, I guess, the same, but not.
we sound. It's funny. People think we
You
sound the same on
sound
the phone.
similar.
And the other thing is that, but it's amazing we came out of the same.
Yeah, you guys are
household.
really polar opposites.
Completely different.
But
I think that's and since we've been older, we become
well,
better
that's.
friends.
I think it
I
always
love that
happens
fucking
that
kid.
way.
He
Yeah.
is, he is one of my,
He's great.
He's
my
a
best
good.
friends.
He's
Yeah.
a good dude. The goalie, the Goldberg, the goalie.
Oh,
I see all his things on Facebook. He's still playing.
stories, man.
We're
Stories,
We're definitely
man.
gonna get you guys on. I want the McCaffrey brothers.
Definitely
So,
McCaffrey brothers.
we'll make that work on a
We'll do
a
it.
day.
Well,
guys
we'll
figure that
We
out.
can work around you, Jimmy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There you go.
yeah.
But
thank you so much for coming on. It was our pleasure. You're great.
I'm glad to be sitting here with you guys. I had a great time.
Do you have anything that you want to plug? Like, are you doing any shows or anything? Theater?
Next,
I don't know.
The next thing that I'm doing is I'm doing The Sound of Music.
Nice.
You know, it's a classic.
I know The Sound of Music.
At the Oslo in Sarasota, Florida. If anybody's down there, there's some like.
If anybody lives
dare I
out
say,
in Florida,
what do they call snowbirds?
What part are you playing? Are you gonna be a Von Trapp?
I'm playing Zeller. Who is one of the Nazis who's trying to like figure out what's going on with Von Trapp? You know, I'm not like a soldier Nazi. I'm like one of like the.
Are you the Nazi that's in
secret? Is there any good Nazis?
There aren't good Nazis. I'm kind of the, the sleazy Nazi who's like, oh, you don't fly the flag? That was interesting. Let me write down yes, okay. Thank you very much. You let your family talk like this?
By the way, great music in that. I am 16, going on 17. I know that I'm.
Somebody cast this man.
Get it in there.
It's wonderful.
Fellas I meet may tell me I'm sweet and finally I'll believe.
Hey, there you go. See,
all right, I got it.
But I think that it's going to be a good show. It's the 60th anniversary of the
Is
theater.
it hard memorizing everything to do?
No, but everybody asks me that.
Because I feel like I wouldn't be able to memorize it.
It's all. Maybe we'll talk about that in another episode.
Yeah, we got plenty to talk about.
But definitely, it at first it's hard, but then at the end of the day, you do it. It's repetitious. You do it all the time.
Right.
It just becomes. You want to keep it fresh, but it all comes together. But yeah, I'm going to be doing that in November through Christmas down in Sarasota.
Oh, Florida
Nice.
Christmas for you.
Yeah, man, can't beat that with a
awesome,
stick.
man.
I'm excited about
you know
that.
what? That's another thing I got a problem with. Hot weather holidays. But I'm not a
Alright.
New York guy.
I like a cold Christmas too, but
But we can get into that another day. Ken, thanks for listening, guys. Rob, thank you for coming on. It was
Thanks
a
for having me.
pleasure.
All right,
Until the
guys.
next time, we're out.
See you
Review
next
us. Peace.